What's up, guys? Happy Memorial Day. Welcome back. Welcome back. Woo! Woo! First live stream in a while. What's up, everyone? So many people are here right now. So happy about that.
I was going to say, I hope that wasn't too loud for you all, because that was
let us know.
definitely loud for us.
We are definitely testing out the sound right now. So let us know.
Which I think is pretty cool.
I think we've used these new mics on here once or twice in a live stream. So just making sure sound checking everything. So as long as you guys are good, let us know if anything's too loud or not. But what's up, everybody? I see so many familiar faces in the chat. I see Johnny. I see Iron America. I see Jace. I see Jabbar. What's up, everyone? How's your Memorial Day doing? Oh, Andrew's here. So many people. Nikki, you're in the chat.
I'm definitely here. Whoa, pizza, Costco.
Whoa, pizza. What's up, dude?
Nice. I will say you're a tad loud for me.
I'm a tad loud. Well, that's just my personality.
I think that really is.
There's nothing I could do about that. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah. No, that's good.
That's better? Okay.
Whoa, the Papillon Oger's here.
Whoa.
That's insane.
All the way from space? All the way from one of the kingdoms?
Clearly you know more than I do.
Yeah, I've watched an episode of King Oger or two.
Oh man.
I watched it when it premiered. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what I'm watching.
It is funny because I think that was the first time I was keenly aware of a new Sentai airing.
Yeah.
Because I remember when that poster dropped.
Well, because we had been reacting to Power Rangers at that point. So we were pretty tapped into the toku community. So when King Oger got announced, I loved the suits.
Yeah.
Those suits were fire.
And it was definitely, and we're preaching to the choir. They were basically like nothing we had ever seen.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, pizza. My Twitch is shot. I never use it. So yeah, next weekend we definitely have to fix my Twitch up.
Yeah.
Because it exists, and that's all there is.
The MontyVerse Twitch exists.
That's going on. We did drop a new video today. We dropped a pretty small video.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone watched it.
One that a lot of people weren't really worried about, didn't really care about. Something about Power Rangers Zeo.
Oh, that's what it's called?
I think so, right?
I thought it was Zoe.
No, that's the Disney show.
What? Fun fact.
Zoe 101.
Actually, fun fact. In Hannah Montana, Miley was going to be Zoe in the show until Zoe 101 came out. And they're like, well, we can't do that now.
Fun fact. Naruto was going to be called...
Sanji? You mean the other way around?
No, no, it was...
Sanji was going to be called Naruto.
Oh, okay. And then they named him Sanji.
Yeah, because obviously he couldn't compete with the Naruto.
Because of the swirl in his eyebrow. Because it's the swirl inside of a Naruto fish cake.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, so, that's a fun fact for you guys. We're just waiting for a couple more people to get in here before we talk more about Zeo, because there is some stuff we're going to talk about. There are a couple of changes we're going to make. None too substantial, really. But substantial enough that we feel like we wanted to go live and just talk to you guys about it because, we wanted to talk about it. But, whoa, this is cool. Don, that's awesome. All the way from Hawaii.
Ooh.
How is it over there? Is the weather good there this time of year? I don't know.
I would assume so.
I would imagine, yes.
I would assume most of the time, but I'm certainly...
It's been cold.
Here, yes.
It's been cold here.
Considering it's May, it's... It's unpleasant.
It's been in the 50s.
And rain.
Sometimes it feels like 40s.
Which is also not fun.
Which is wild.
I literally got stuff for hot weather, for summertime to wear, and I have not been able to wear any of it.
I'm still in hoodies. That's how cold it's been. I'm still in hoodies and insulated pants. Or just thick thick runners. Thick track pants.
Yeah. But yeah, now we're talking about the weather.
I feel like that makes sense. I would imagine it's hot. I know. That is crazy. But we're not in the same geolocation. But that for where you are, that is pretty crazy.
That is wild.
I always wanted to.
I was gonna say
I didn't even see that. What's up, Mason? I didn't even see that comment fly in.
I was gonna say, I know there's so much written supplemental material for Avatar. I sure as hell have not read any of it.
It's crazy because they released Zuko books, the search for his mother, which I really wanted to check out and I haven't had a chance to check out yet.
Yep.
which I'm really, really interested in. So I have to buckle down. There's so many I'm reading so many comics and we're watching so many shows and movies. I'm going to see a new movie tomorrow. I don't know if any of you guys are excited. I'm going to see Karate Kid tomorrow, and we'll have a review. We'll have an out of theater reaction on the channel tomorrow night, hopefully. If not, Wednesday morning. I keep thinking it's Monday.
I know. You keep thinking it's Sunday.
I keep thinking it's Sunday. So I'll have that out of theater reaction either tomorrow or Wednesday, and then I'll have the review when the embargo drops, which I believe is Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Not soon to follow. No, not yet. This is a good question. There hasn't been any substantial news yet outside of the official announcement, but that announcement was a pretty big announcement because it was picked up by all the trades, the major trades, and it's not something that kind of has been lurking in the Power Ranger rumor mill, even though a lot of those rumors we now know were factual based off of a lot of the confirmed stuff that came out,
right?
Which is really, really fun. But I do think that Jin promised some Power Ranger news next week. Jin Saku over on Twitter. So if you guys are not following Jin at Jin Saku on Twitter, go follow him because he's I think he's gonna come out of retirement and drop some new he's gonna take a break from covering Superman and he's gonna drop some Power Ranger reboot news.
That's exciting.
So make sure you go follow him because I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet of him saying like next week. I guess this week. Because that was last week. So this week. So he should be dropping something this week.
That's the problem with holidays is you just lose all concept of time.
Yeah, I have no concept of time. I still think it's the weekend.
Which it technically is. It's
technically is. It's the long weekend.
I know.
What's up, Raphael? Okay, I think there's about 125 people in here right now. I think now's a good time than any to start with the Power Ranger news, or should we start with something else?
Well, I was gonna say, but maybe before we get into that part of the Power Rangers news. I have a little bit of Power Rangers updates to provide.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hit it.
Yeah.
Go for
so if you guys follow the MontyVerse on Twitter and myself at EdLordNikki on Twitter, we've done a couple different giveaways based on shows that we've watched. I know you've done a couple Daredevil ones.
Yeah, 2 Daredevil giveaways so far.
Yes. And very recently, I did one for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in celebration of my first full-time watch through of it. So we had a couple Lightning Collection figures in it, a DVD set, and some really cool looking stickers. And I want to announce on stream, congratulations to
Wait. We're announcing the winner.
This is the winner.
We are announcing the winner of Nikki's giveaway, Nikki's first giveaway.
Yes.
It's really cool. We love doing these giveaways.
Yes.
We're really big like media people. Obviously, we cover it on the channel. So whenever we do these giveaways, we try and give away pieces of physical media, whether that's comics or DVDs.
Yeah.
And Nikki cultivated a really cool giveaway. And without further ado,
do you have a drum roll?
I do have I have to try. The problem is I loaded it up with too many joke sound effects.
Oh
so
my God.
I have all the joke ones, but I could do a drum roll. I could do a low drum.
All right. Congratulations to Avenging_AJ.
Yeah. Woo! Congratulations. The first Power Ranger giveaway of many, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say, so congratulations to AJ. I will be putting it in the mail this week, but if you guys are interested, don't fret if you either entered this and didn't win or didn't know to enter it. We are definitely going to continue doing more giveaways on both the MontyVerse Twitter account and mine at EdLordNikki. So give us a follow.
Yeah, and if you guys don't have Twitter, maybe we'll do one on Instagram. We'll do one on Instagram just to keep it round, and maybe we'll do one on the YouTube.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to promote physical media and get that to as many people who maybe don't have the opportunities to get it in other ways. So we're really happy to do that.
I was going to say, actually, that's a great poll that I might do is I might just ask people outside of YouTube, if any, what social platform y'all use the most. And that's something we'll take into consideration because we're trying to post more on other platforms like TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
But yeah, let us know.
Yeah, if you guys have been following the MontyVerse account on Twitter and on TikTok and Instagram, I'm posting tons of shorts now. I'm posting about one a day, if not more. Reels, TikToks, just really cool stuff. I'm definitely experimenting a lot more. I'm getting to talk about things that I really like and talk about. I dropped a Karate Kid a trivia fact today, and I have a couple of more Karate Kid facts that I want to drop this week. And I have some Power Ranger ones that I filmed, and I just have to edit, which are really cool. I have one about Power Rangers Prime. I have one about the Entwistle reboot that we learned about last week, so that's really fun. But yeah, a lot of really cool stuff over there.
Yes. Link Should we make?
Yes,
Oh my god.
pizza. That is what my soundboard is right now. I have all the joke effects. I have to load it up with more. Right now, I just love this. I wanted to call out Iron's the MontyVerse direct. It kind of is a MontyVerse direct right now.
Should we make? Can we even make a LinkedIn?
I mean, that's funny. I mean, you have a YouTube. You're following us on YouTube. You're subscribed to us on YouTube. So maybe we'll just do YouTube. We'll do one on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. That's actually very valid.
Okay. I'm getting up-to-date information right now about giveaways that we should do.
Ooh.
But yes, I will definitely keep that in mind, person who just sent that to me.
That sounds so ominous and mysterious.
All right. Enjoy the steak pizza. We'll be on for a while.
Yes, bye pizza. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, but yes, we just announced the giveaway so far. We haven't really talked about the Power Ranger news, but I guess now's as good a time as any.
Yeah. Wait,
That's foul, Iron. Oh my god, I have to pull this up because that got me.
Oh my god, no.
If they existed, I'd give them away.
I thought they existed, just not the worst version of it that was
See, are you asking us to give away a Warrior Line t-shirt, or are you asking us to put Austin St. John quotes on a t-shirt and then give it away? I wouldn't do either because that guy would try and take a cut, and I'm not giving him a cut of shit.
I know. It's like I don't want attention for that of all the things in the world.
He could do his thing, man. We gotta.
Why not both?
Why not? How did I know you were gonna say that?
Oh my god!
That guy could do his own thing. We got a new Red Ranger. It's Zeo.
That is very true.
We have our first Red Ranger.
The first ever Red Ranger.
No, because we got the Aquitians. I love those little Aquitians.
Orico.
Oh
my god, I remember that.
Yes.
I can't believe it. Considering how little they say his name.
Considering how little they say any of the names outside of Delphine.
I know Sestro because he does the most without the rest of them.
Yeah.
I could not name. I feel bad. I really don't remember yellow or black.
Okay. I don't either. Crocus? Croak?
That sounds like one of them.
Croxus? It'll come to me. But
guys, I'm sorry. We're fake fans.
We're
really bad fans.
I'm such a fake fan. I'm such a Power Ranger tourist. Unless you haven't noticed, I don't like Power Rangers. I clearly don't like Power Rangers
at all.
So, it's just, see, the problem is like you can like something and also have the memory of someone who's been watching the show since you were a child, who's been watching the show for 30 years.
Pretty much.
which is the problem we're hitting right now.
In fairness, there were technically 14 leads at the same time during Alien Rangers.
There were so many people on camera.
Yeah.
During Alien Rangers. I've never seen a 20-something minute show have D and E plots.
Well, and also I do think it's pretty disrespectful that they credited the regular Ranger actors who are not in most of it.
Yes.
They credited the kids, which is good. And they did not credit the actual Rangers whatsoever. But then the weirdest thing is they credited Paul and Jason, but not Young Bulk and Skull.
They didn't credit Young Bulk and Skull, and they didn't credit the Rangers that were named. The show was named after at the time.
Yeah.
Which is funny. That's a fun fact. But 185 people watching right now. I think now's as good a time as any to make a huge announcement in regards to the channel.
Yes.
Starting this week or the beginning of next week, we're going to be introducing memberships. They're already active on the channel, but we're going to be introducing brand new tiers. And one of those tiers is early access to our Power Ranger reactions.
Yes.
So essentially, we are going to be taking a 2-week break from Power Rangers reactions. But if you sign up for our membership, which is going to be access to the Power Ranger episodes early, is going to be the lowest tier. It's going to be $1 tier. It's only going to be $1 a month for early access to Power Rangers. And you're going to be getting them starting this Monday, if you sign up for the membership. And don't worry, if you can't sign up for the membership, if you don't have the means, we are not putting Power Rangers behind a paywall. You will be getting it 2 weeks later. So essentially think of it as, if you don't sign up for a membership, we're taking a 2-week break from Power Rangers, and it will be on the channel free for everyone 2 weeks from next Monday,
Mhm.
which I think is pretty fair. Because we're not putting Power Rangers behind a paywall. You're still going to get it for free. Everything's going to be for free. But what we are doing is we're going to be using the memberships that YouTube is encouraging its creators to use.
Mhm.
And we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff there, starting with Power Rangers.
Yeah, so like Monty had talked about is there's going to be a $1 tier. That's going to be the lowest tier and what you can do to get early access to the Power Rangers reactions. But that's not all that's going to be at that tier.
Yes, we are going to be posting more on the membership. We're going to be giving updates on like comic books that I'm currently reading, any media outside of the stuff that we cover on the channel that we're digesting.
Yeah, because I mean, trust me, guys, there's a lot of stuff that we are watching, reading, consuming that we don't always necessarily make content about, but we're happy to share that. And if you guys have questions about it or comments about it, feel free. And that's what that tier is for.
Yes, absolutely. And on top of that, we're also going to be doing tiers for uncut reactions to all of the stuff that we cover now. So starting with Ironheart, I believe, we're going to be doing uncut reactions. We're going to be doing uncut reactions to the movies that we cover. We already have our next movie planned that we're going to be recording this weekend.
We have a couple in the docket.
Yes.
I don't know if you were going to announce it, though.
I don't know if we should announce it. Maybe we'll announce it later. Maybe we'll tease it. Maybe we'll tease it later, which movie we're going to be covering. And it's going to be really cool because we're essentially going to give you guys a couple of seconds so you can line up with us. And then you can essentially get our full commentary to anything that we react to, whether it's TV shows or movies. And I think that's what something a lot of people have been asking for, but we've been really trepidatious to do because we weren't really comfortable with the whole Patreon or membership system yet. But now we've been kind of looking into it and doing more research. And we feel a lot more comfortable in doing it and providing you guys with enough content that we think it would be worth it.
Yeah, because trust me, we are not going into this lightly at all.
No.
We not only have we done research into all these different platforms to which we could start membership programs.
Yeah.
We are so conscientious of making sure they have value for what the asking price is and making sure it's stuff that you guys actually like and would want to take advantage of. Because we understand that that's asking a lot. We don't ask any of this lightly.
No.
So we're excited to do it, and we think it's going to be great for you all and for the channel.
Yeah, and there's a reason why we waited until we had over 40,000 subscribers to do anything like this.
Yeah.
When channels with, a fraction of our following start Patreons and memberships almost immediately, because we want to give you guys as much of ourselves as possible without taking anything from you. And that's always been our goal, to just entertain.
Yeah, and I think this is fair to say that we're excited to launch this. Everything we kind of just described to you guys. As time goes on, maybe we'll rework things. We'll find other things to offer, maybe add additional tiers. Obviously, that's not set in stone, but we're happy to kind of just see how everything works out and then adjust from there.
Yes. And also, it allows us the freedom to do other cool things. Like we could do members only live streams where we can be more interactive. We can maybe bring a couple of you guys up and on call if possible. We can do members only Twitch, Discord channels. So if we want to ask you guys for recommendations on things, you can give us maybe we'll put polls in there and you guys can vote on movies that we cover next. We'll give you a couple of options that we've been tossing around and maybe we can't decide on exactly which one to do.
And this is the thing, is that y'all often have really great suggestions for stuff we should check out, react to, make content about. Obviously, we're super limited in how much we can do, but we could add that to one of the membership levels. Is if you guys really are very passionate about something, we're happy to take that feedback. Yeah,
and so many people in the chat are kind of pinpointing exactly why we're doing it. The engagement possibilities are endless. We want to connect with you guys more. Now that the community is pretty big, we want to make sure that, any connection is meaningful. So this allows us to do that. And, maybe it allows us the freedom to try new things that probably wouldn't work if they weren't, for members to cultivate that community aspect of it. Like maybe like gaming live streams.
Yeah.
Like Nikki's been wanting to play Mario Party on stream. I play a lot of Marvel Rivals and Fortnite. Maybe I'll stream some Rivals in Fortnite and we could do some member play withs.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool.
That's one of those things where it's like, we're super compared to YouTube, at least we're not nearly as familiar with Twitch or just doing video games in general. But like, we're both playing them all the time anyway. So we feel like that'd be really fun for you all if you guys like that idea.
Yes, absolutely. And there's just so many cool ideas that we actually have
Mhm.
that we're going to do with this. So it's going to be fun to see. And it's going to be fun working on it with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys have questions about it, or even suggestions, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
And then as of right now,
Jump in the Discord.
yeah.
Jump in the Discord. Let us know. Post in general or questions. And
just to clarify, the $1 tier for the early access to Power Rangers is not currently live. But
No.
when it does go live, it will be on I believe it's a join button on YouTube, and that's how
Yes.
you'll be able to. And we will make a post in the community tab explicitly announcing when it is live.
And again, it's not $1 for Power Rangers. It's early access. So
Yes.
just to reiterate, Power Rangers is not going anywhere. It will still be free on the channel.
Yeah.
It will just be earlier. People who are members will have it 2 weeks earlier.
Yes.
The latest episode.
That's it.
And that's pretty much it when it comes to Power Rangers. But the uncut reactions, they are going to be members only, just because it's just how we have to do it with YouTube and with the claiming process. It's just how it's the easiest way for us to do that with you guys and to give you guys something out of it.
No, absolutely. I think, and like Monty said, we're going to start that when we do Ironheart, which is, unless I miss anything, the next show that we're going to be reacting to. And we're really excited to start doing more movies, because that's something that we've been really hoping. We've been chomping at the bit for that. Obviously, they take a little more time, and we try to pick stuff that we think people would be interested in, maybe are topical. So we're really excited to get into that, especially if they are uncut reactions.
Yeah, which it also gives us the opportunity, because again, when it comes to editing, we're at a limit. We still have to edit the last 2 episodes of The Last of Us.
Mhm.
We're really strapped for time. We eventually have to take on editors, but having the ability to do uncut reactions now gives us maybe the opportunity to cover things that, like, I would have covered Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man if we were doing this earlier in the year, because we didn't have time to edit that, but I would have put my uncut reactions on the channel just because I really wanted to watch that show, and I wanted to watch that show with you guys. I wanted you guys to get the benefit of having me, like, call out things from the comic books, or to see my excitement to certain things from that show.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do that now. Maybe that's something we can do over the summer, because I still haven't watched it yet.
It's honestly crazy how many what look like insanely good shows and movies we have not been able to get to, which again, unfortunately, it's strapped for time. And that's one of the things that has always just been like an enemy of us making more content.
Yes. Time is the greatest enemy of content creation. And it's definitely something that has been affecting us, just because, you know, I saw a lot of people asking about Super Sentai. That's a huge factor in Super Sentai reactions, because you guys have to keep in mind, we already covered Power Rangers, which is a half an hour just to record
minimum. And that doesn't include multi-parters.
The Zeo was an hour long that we had to record, then edit, then make a thumbnail for, then upload, extract, upload, re-edit it a couple of times.
Yeah, especially because it's weird, because like, and we'll talk about this a little bit. It's a continuation of Mighty Morphin, but it was still a brand new show. So it was getting everything kind of established with it as a new series we were covering. Yeah.
So that took about a whole day to get done. Zeo. And that Power Rangers doesn't stop. We do Power Rangers once a week for the most part, every week, all year long. So that's 52 brand new videos, long form videos a week, on top of all the short form videos we do, all the shorts we edit, all the new shorts that I'm doing on TikTok and Instagram. And that's one. So Sentai, you also have to imagine, is another full-time commitment, almost 52 weeks out of the year, once a week, every week. And if you notice, like, other people who react to it, they found really smart and inventive ways to do it, which we just don't have the time to do ourselves. Like, they react to it live on stream. They stream on Twitch or other platforms that aren't as aggressive when it comes to copywriting and things of that nature. And I think that's really smart. But our biggest following is on YouTube, so it doesn't really work for us to do it that way.
Yeah, and then just on top of that, again, it can't be reiterated enough that there's so many other things we also just want to do on top of that. So it has come down to a matter of we just have to pick and choose after a certain point.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reading the comments.
Oh no,
Iron is on fire today. Iron is killing it today.
Is it?
With the comments. Yeah, that one right there. did it add to recording when Monty had to process? Like, we had to cut out just a half an hour of me sitting in silence in the corner trying to figure out what happened in those multi-parters.
Oh my god.
You're gonna like Johnny's comment because you've been planning this for a while now.
Guys, I can't even begin to tell you. Like, it's so hard because, like I said, there's so much we want to do, but this is one that I've never stopped bothering Monty about.
Yeah, and I said I'd do it. There's so many things. We also try and plan movies strategically around releases. Like we did Daredevil 2003 around Born Again. And we absolutely love that. If you haven't watched,
God, yes.
If you haven't watched our Daredevil 2003 movie reaction, go watch it because we had the time of our lives filming that one.
Guys, like seriously.
It's insane.
It's insane because I'd never seen it. It was my first time watching it. And I had like inklings of what it would be like. It still surpassed every single one of them, but in the best way possible, despite it not being a great movie.
So we have some fun stuff planned for Fantastic Four. Maybe we have something planned for Superman, because those are two pretty big movies that we're excited to see.
And for Descendants, it is the 10-year anniversary for the first movie. So it wouldn't be totally not apropos to do that. But again, there's so many things we want to do.
Yeah. And to answer your question, we are watching it. We're not caught up, but we are watching it.
And you recently did a short. For those of you who haven't seen it, Monty just did a short about Gozu Polar.
Gozu Polar is insane.
That suit is gorgeous.
Gozu Polar might be the best suit I've ever. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's the second best suit I've ever seen.
Well, to be fair, Ziki has always been your favorite Ranger. You never claimed his suit was your favorite.
No, his suit is not my favorite.
We literally did a tier list of the best Ranger suits.
Yeah, I mean, even in terms of RPM, I think in terms of cooler, like design aesthetics, I think there are cooler ones. But Ziggy's suit, just to have Ziggy's suit, means the world to me. So that's why it is my favorite suit, because it has a lot of emotional value.
And like I made I don't know if for any of y'all who follow me on Twitter, I did a whole freaking thread about why I think Genba's suit is the best out of the Boom Boomers suits.
You're wrong.
We're talking about the suits.
Fine, whatever.
Anyway, but again, that's also because I have the emotional attachment to it. Do I think it's the best suit ever? No.
Bye, Iron. Thank you. Yes, you did make me laugh.
Yes.
Congratulations. It's always good to see you. Love seeing my regulars in here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for your support. But no, in general, I think it's fair to say that we can have attachments to suits because of the characters without calling the suits aesthetically pleasing.
Of course. Of course, some suits have amazing design aesthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Vulgarity, we can't do that. You made a lot of people in our chat very uncomfortable last time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gonna have to let you go on that one. But it's what were we talking about? What were we even
just
talking about?
Like Ranger suits to wear, and we talk about it a bit during when we did the tier list to wear. Because obviously, like every team has a similar aesthetic, and some, I think it's fair to say, are much better than others.
100%.
But yeah, when we love a character, I think it gives us an emotional attachment to the suit more so than we would otherwise. Because there's at least one Ranger you've told me where you love them, you hate their suit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Sakato's one.
Sakato's definitely one of them. Yeah. I really don't like Sakato's suit. I didn't like it at first. It grew on me over time.
It grew on us because we grew to love him. Two, it fits his character insanely well. It's a chaotic design. The color scheme on it is, and I know a lot of people really like it. We just really don't.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing. We grew to like it. Honestly, I'd like to talk about just fashion in film and television. So I could talk about this forever.
Sakato's personal clothes were way better than his suit in terms of design aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh, his normie outfit was amazing.
Yes, it was really, really cool. So I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of fun stuff.
Actually, like Paladin. While I have liked what I've seen of Ninja Steel. I thought you said Storm. We liked the guy suits.
Yeah, I think the girl suits have a lot of weird design choices that I don't really love. Some of the detail and accenting works are really weird. So yeah, I don't know.
The guy suits are pretty solid.
Yeah, the guy suits are pretty solid. I would probably say like Samurai would be closer to me. I really love the design aesthetic of the Samurai suits, but I don't really love the show.
Yeah.
And that's how you say that.
Oh no, is Toa here?
If Toa was here, he'd let me know by now. He would come defend his glorious king, Jaden Shiba.
Oh no. But yeah, honestly, we probably. Whoa. What's up, Blackwing?
What's up, Blackwing? Everybody go follow Blackwing on TikTok. He's doing some new TikToks over there, reviewing some movies.
Ooh.
I think he's making his way through the Mission Impossible franchise now, which is really cool. He's getting up to some of the good ones.
That's awesome. And
So
I know a lot of people are obviously doing that in honor of Final Reckoning.
yeah, I saw that.
I know.
If you want to know my thoughts, you can watch my review on Final Reckoning. But yeah, that movie was an experience. It was good. There's a lot of really good about Final Reckoning, but a lot of bad too.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like based on because I really haven't seen the series. I've seen most of the first one, which sounds weird. And otherwise, I'm not the biggest action person. I obviously know that they're highly beloved. Some of them are very highly acclaimed. I do remember you not being big on Dead Reckoning, though, so
No.
I didn't exactly have faith in Final Reckoning.
No, Dead Reckoning was kind of like, it's so weird because up until then, I think they were on a pretty solid climb.
Yeah.
From Ghost Protocol to Rogue Nation to Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Then Dead Reckoning was kind of like, eh. And the Final Reckoning had some really high highs, but also it was super convoluted and involved and tried to tie up every loose thread and plot hole in the franchise, and also incorporate characters from all across every movie. And it was just really weird at times, but it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. No, what a meme.
Someone had brought up watching the Final Destination movies as reactions. That's such a cool idea because I loved the Final Destination movies when I was younger. I haven't seen them in years.
Me too. So for those who have watched any reactions we've done, I'm fairly squeamish.
Yeah.
I did not give horror a genuine chance until around 2018. And it was that year around Halloween. Actually, back to back, I watched at the time all the Scream movies and then all the Final Destination movies, which sounds super counterintuitive to how I take gore. But there is something special about how Final Destination handles it because it's so ludicrous and over the top that's like, I'm not bothered. And they're not like overly gory. They're just they're just it's what it is. But I love them too.
For anyone who likes the Final Destination movies, go see The Monkey because not only do we have a fantastic Final Destination movie out in Bloodlines, but we also have like an elevated version of Final Destination, which is The Monkey. I think Monkey is like really art house version of Final Destination. And it's fantastic cast, fantastic film. We really loved it. We saw it earlier this year. Yeah,
one of the best of the year. It's directed by Osgood Perkins, who also did Longlegs that came out last year. I know like that movie's gotten a lot of backlash recently. We really liked it. I would say that The Monkey is better than it, though.
It has a great cast. If you guys have seen She-Hulk or Orphan Black, it has Tatiana Maslany, who's fantastic in the movie. For all of our X-Men 97 fans, Theo James, who's having a pretty big career resurgence right now.
Oh my God. And also what's crazy is we just watched his season of The White Lotus recently.
He's so good.
He's so good.
I've become a Theo James fan late in life.
Guys.
When I say late in life, I mean currently in life.
Guys, should we watch Divergent?
No. We're watching this. If we're going to watch one D movie, we're going to watch Descendants. That's not Divergent. They couldn't even finish the franchise. They couldn't even make a third movie.
That was hilarious. Also, it's the stupidity of we got to split the last book into 2 movies, which, having read the books, was 100% not necessary. So they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
And then Shailene was like, I'm over this.
I'm out. I'm going to go do some art house stuff.
I don't know if you knew this. What they were going to do was make the second half of that story a TV.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the announcement.
Which is weird.
So dumb.
So
Can
terrible.
you imagine, like, hey, we're going to take this movie that we wanted to create a tentpole franchise out of, and we're going to just give up on it and put it on TV.
Like, not even that was tentpole. They were nearly done. They were basically done.
Yeah. Really, really weird.
Oh, and I love how pretentious it was because the book was called Allegiant, which was the name of the movie they actually made.
Yeah.
And then the second half was going to be named Ascendant, which is so pretentious.
My God. We dodged a big bullet on that one.
Yep.
Oof. Theo James, you made it out the other end.
He really did.
You made it out, buddy, and I'm glad. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see what you're doing now, dude.
And Zoe Kravitz, because that was the first thing I ever saw her in.
And not Jai Courtney. Jai Courtney's still in the woods right now. He was Boomerang,
and he did better in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, did he? Did he though? Yeah, Mason. Yes, we did. I've seen. Did you watch Nope with me?
Yeah, we watched it together.
We watched it together.
I think we can both say we have seen every Jordan Peele directed movie.
We can say it. We can officially say for the first time here on stream that we have watched every single Jordan Peele movie.
Yes. No, we saw Nope. I thought it was really good. I did not like it as much as Get Out or Us. I really liked Us.
I liked the performances in Nope. I think there were some real, but again, it's a Jordan Peele movie, so it was real. As all of his movies take big swings, and all of his movies take really, really big conceptual and thematic swings with their visuals. And Nope was no different in that, and especially the ending with the spaceship that became a sort of womb-like structure.
Yeah,
it was really interesting, and there were some amazing visuals, amazing direction, solid performances. But that's a Jordan Peele movie. The problem with Jordan Peele is he makes too many good movies. So it's like Ryan Coogler, right? It's like saying you don't like saying that something's not your favorite Ryan Coogler movie is essentially saying like I don't like having perfection all the time. Let me just have good. Let me settle for great for once instead of perfect. You know?
I know, and that's a great problem to have.
That really is. Jacoby's in here. What's up, Jacoby?
Hi, Jacoby.
That's aggressive.
What?
Ban him.
But that's really nice of him.
Ban him.
That's whatever.
Have you ever? Oh, what did your mom think of Nope? That's a really interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Because I guess it's motherly at points.
I guess I'm trying to think like because I've definitely watched stuff with my parents that was weird, but like not intentionally.
That was intentionally weird. That was definitely the intention.
Yeah.
That's on the Disney era of Power Rangers. What? Nope.
That would be.
that would have been wild.
I know that the Disney era was pretty strong. I don't know if they take that big of swings.
Definitely not.
Okay. To be fair, yes. But like there's holes in a lot of in pretty much all of them.
Maybe they made them maybe they had like a smelting facility in the underneath. What is the area called?
I don't remember, but the other thing that's also one of those things where it's like I can suspend it a little bit because the whole concept is already insane.
Yeah, but what's weird is Jordan Peele makes these insane, really fleshed out worlds that are filled with interesting concepts, and they feel complete and they feel really developed.
Yeah,
to the point where even like stuff like the golden scissors, everything else is so explained and so well thought out that you don't even care.
And honestly, like that's part of just the film's iconography, like so strongly that
it's crazy. But I mean, I feel like Jace just hit a bullseye. He just threw the dart and hit a bullseye.
Yes.
Let's talk about Trap. Let's talk about Trap right now.
Oh my God.
Not only did I love Trap, Trap is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, probably by a large margin. Not only is it my favorite Shyamalan movie, but it was one of my favorite movies of last year. There's a hard argument that it might have been my favorite movie of last year. It is full of amazing performances. Josh Hartnett is a revelation in that movie. He is fantastic. Speaking of people with career resurgences, I loved seeing him.
Oh, I know. And I really wish that we had the chance because we almost got to see an early screening of his new film Fight or Flight, which sounds also equally as crazy but fun.
It sounds fun, and I love the career choices he's making right now. He's going from Oppenheimer to Trap to Fight or Flight. He's taking risks and he's just doing fun things. It's like he's not following the career path of someone who was in an Oscar nominated and winning movie. Yeah,
it's not like an overly prestige track or one of like the generic like good-looking rom-com guy, or because I feel like that was kind of what he was originally set up to be. No, I like and he was also recently in an episode of not recently, but 2 years ago, he was in Black Mirror, and I like just kind of this wide girth of stuff he's doing.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. To reaction, Johnny, we will. I will. I'm promising you. Let me look right down the barrel when I say this, Johnny. I promise you, you are getting Sonic one day.
I was gonna say, if there's anything that is so quintessentially part of Monty's brand, it is the Sonic trilogy.
I fell in love with the Sonic movies, and I have such a deep love and admiration for those movies that we will react to them. I think.
Yeah, obviously they're not gonna be first time, but
I'm so bummed that Sonic 4 is so far away.
But I think that the benefit to that is once we get closer, that would be the opportune time to do the reactions, and that will help us put some distance between them because we watched the other two before the third one,
and it was emotionally rewarding.
Yes,
to watch the two before the third one because everything connects, and that's a great example of connecting movies in a way that makes sense and feels right.
Oh, Mason, thanks so much. Have a good one.
Oh, bye, Mason. Thanks for joining us. Always good to see you in the chat, buddy. So yeah, we'll when is it? 2027?
Yes, because it was gonna be 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah,
but I have to bring this
now
up.
It's 2 years now.
I have to bring up Andrews. It is the 30-year anniversary for the first Toy Story. I mean, I love them all. Woody and Buzz are both amazing and are such a quintessential duo in cinema, not even just animation.
Yeah.
And look, we all know Toy Story 5 is coming out.
Yeah. We revealed the director of Toy Story 5.
Yes. Oh, and
that was our scoop. Hey, guys, if you didn't know, we were actually the ones to scoop the director of Toy Story 5.
Yeah, 2 whole months before Disney confirmed it.
Before they confirmed it. And we got it from the head of Pixar himself, Pete Docter. So that was really fun. That was a really fun moment for us because we just kind of posted like, hey, did anyone know this?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, that's really big news.
No, because like we're not people who are breaking news.
No, we're not scoopers.
We're not scoopers. We're not professional journalists. But that was one of the coolest things we've ever done, in my opinion.
Jacoby, are you crazy? I'm 28 now. I'm not a day over 28 right this second.
Yeah. I mean, this is not wrong because Sid is honestly, in the grand scheme of things, he's mostly an innocent kid. He just had some weird things going on.
Yeah. Speaking of Toy Story, did you hear that the Annabelle? Well, we should probably answer the question first before I get into this story. Before I pivot.
What's the what?
So he asked us who our favorite characters were.
Yeah, I love everyone. Woody has this huge special place in my heart.
My favorite character is Ken.
Oh, Ken is a great answer.
My favorite character is Ken because Ken is a meme.
Yeah.
And I'm a meme person, so I love meme characters. And Ken had me rolling when I saw Toy Story 3 in theaters. Ken
and Barbie in that movie is like they steal this show every scene they're in.
And he was voiced by Batman.
Yeah. Who was genuinely amazing. Like not even just as a gimmick, he was just really good.
Michael Keaton's so great. So damn great. But yeah, definitely Ken.
But I was gonna say the one thing I can say is you have watched all of them but 4.
Before.
So that is one that we are most certainly going to do before Toy Story 5.
Maybe we just do all of them because I don't remember Toy Story 1. It's been like over a decade since I've seen Toy Story 1.
I've watched it regularly enough. So yeah, I'm down to do all of them.
Maybe do you guys want to see us do Toy Stories? All of them?
Also, Toy Story 1 is like not even 80 minutes.
You want to know what's crazy? I barely remember Toy Story 2.
Oh my God. I love 2. Because I was 1 when Toy Story 1 came out. So I did not remember watching that when it came out. 2, I was definitely old enough. And that got just so ingrained in my memory because I loved that movie so much. I can recall it so vividly.
Pizza, that's foul for revealing my age.
That's
you're
not
never
nice.
Supposed to do that. Don't dox me like that. I turn 79 tomorrow.
Oh, Jace has a great question.
Oh man. It was one that I really liked the Naked Gun movies as a kid. I watched them and I found them really funny. I think they're really good satire.
Yeah.
Which I think is an art form that we've really lost starting with all of those horrible spoof movies, like Meet the Spartans and all those garbage spoof movies that came after the Wayans like did the fantastic Scary Movie 1 and 2, which again are perfect versions of Satire. And then we started getting garbage after garbage, and I feel like we kind of lost the plot with Satire. Now we have a renaissance of Satire. The Wayans are back. They're doing a new Scary Movie, which is I'm super excited for. And then they announced this, and I was really, really scared.
Yeah, like because Naked Gun 1 was lightning in a bottle. I haven't seen it. That's something you can make me watch.
Yeah, and they're really funny. I don't know if we should watch them because of the OJ of it all now, but that was a great joke in that trailer. But I was really worried because you're doing a Naked Gun without Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
and he's so pivotal to the success of those movies because Leslie Nielsen is a master of satire. He is a master of comedic timing. He is a comedic genius beyond anything that we can describe. The man is just naturally gifted. He has a natural gift for comedy. And on top of that, he's also really good on it beyond just natural talent. He's just a force of nature.
Yeah. I haven't seen the movies, but I've seen Airplane, and I love Airplane.
He's so good. Even like he was one of the best parts of Superhero Movie, which was another okay spoof movie. And to do Naked Gun, which is a franchise that was wholly his, and put Liam Neeson in it, you're kind of just like, I think I know what they're gonna do.
Like, what is this?
I think I know what they're gonna do. It's gonna be generic. It's gonna be really on the nose. It's gonna be dumb. And then the trailer came out. And I love the trailer because not only is it self-referential, but it's self-referential in all the best ways possible. And it's acknowledging how stupid it is that they're doing this. And it's acknowledging all the tropes of like requels, which I think is really cool. It's satirizing like really serious, self-serious requels that everyone's like that scene where they're all,
oh my God, the dads,
the Hall of Dead Fathers, and they're all related to characters from the original movie. That is gold. That is amazing. Well written, well executed satire. And that got me so excited because I'm like, hey, that's a good joke. And then the OJ, the fact that they did the OJ joke and they had the balls to sell it the way that they did, I'm like, okay, I feel really good about this movie and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I would absolutely give it a chance. I definitely want, if I have time, I definitely want to watch the originals, but that I will absolutely give this new one a chance. Because the other thing that you brought up is that we barely get pure comedies anymore, like in film.
And that's something that Mega also kind of touched on right there. Like bring back funny, stupid movies. Like growing up in the late 90s, early aughts, there were so many fun, random movies like Dodgeball. We would never get a Dodgeball made in 2025 in theaters. It would be straight to Netflix or straight to streaming.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that if I'm genuinely thinking about pure comedy films of the last couple years, like not even that far back, most of them are straight to streaming and usually not great. Or I know we saw No Hard Feelings, which that's the only one that's really sticking out to me. That was a theatrical release that we both saw and that we at least kind of enjoyed.
Yeah. Oh, Chanzo, I saw you earlier and I forgot to acknowledge you, but it's been a while, dude. So good to see you. And yes, Don't Be a Menace. If you guys haven't seen Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, that movie is hilarious. And that is like the first all Wayans satire that brought in a lot of the Wayans together, if I remember correctly.
I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of Don't Be a Menace?
This is a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie that satirizes a lot of those coming of age movies of the 90s, like Boys in the Hood.
All right, remind me to watch this.
Yeah.
I have to say this. I'm not obviously as familiar with the Wayans as you are.
Yeah.
Because of you, I did watch White Chicks.
Yes. And guys, I showed Nikki White Chicks. Great moment for me.
And when I was younger, I really liked My Wife and Kids.
Yeah, that was also a good show.
And he was really good in it. But no, there's too much to watch.
Yeah, there's so much to watch. And Chanzo also had brought up a point about he had just watched our Zeo premiere, and he had brought up a point about how hard it was to see Rocky become blue. We talk about it in the in the video, but
yeah,
it's a moment. I love that they acknowledged it. I love that they took the second to cut back to Billy and Alpha comforting him. So that was really sweet.
Just in general, I was just very impressed with the level of continuity in the entire premiere between, hey, we're actually switching Rangers now. We're doing different colors. They brought back Oh my god, what's his name?
They brought back Alpha. They brought back that scumbag Zordon.
Unfortunately, Master Vile.
Master Vile, yes, they referenced Vile.
Like, there's a shocking amount of continuity and acknowledgement of stuff from the last few episodes and just like the show in general. That I was like, I'm actually impressed with this, and it felt earnest. If anything, we were so impressed with Tanya. Like, she didn't just blindly like jump into this. Like, hell yeah.
Tanya is so impressive.
Yeah,
Tanya has the best showing of any. She is better on the ground, boots on the ground, first day on the job than any of the Mighty Morphin Rangers by a mile.
Yeah, because she had the wherewithal to be like, hey, Billy, you are the experienced Ranger. You shouldn't be stepping back in favor of me, this new person. And he is so earnest about it. He's like, no, like, because, and you could also say like it was fate where she was destined for this, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think they do just enough to justify it. And I think that's so impressive. That's honestly very impressive.
Yeah. Someone made a good point that it's I don't know if we brought it up already, but it's hard to get comedies in theaters now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so true. I think that it's hard to get them made. It's not hard to make because you can still make funny, silly comedies, but everything is IP now, right? And I know you're looking behind me and you're going, yeah, tell me about it, Chill. But I'm also a cinephile. I'm also a really big movie lover and movie supporter. We watch close to 50 to 100 movies, new movies every year.
Yeah. And like, while it's tough, that's something that we do try to carve out time for.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. You saw Mickey 17.
Yes. Another fantastic movie.
And so, unless I'm mistaken, original.
What breaks my heart is that you have these amazing original movies that came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
You have Companion, fantastic. Mickey 17, fantastic.
Yeah. Companion.
I said Companion.
Oh, sorry.
The Monkey, fantastic.
Drop,
fantastic. Novocaine, fantastic. In all 5 of those movies that we just named, varying of all genres.
Yeah.
You have drama to action comedy to dark comedy, and what's crazy, like thriller. Drop was an homage to Hitchcockian horror and thriller, which I really, really loved. As someone who grew up watching Hitchcock, who grew up really loving Vertigo and Psycho and North by Northwest. So to get these movies that are being made and people just aren't going to see them, one, because they're not getting the proper advertisement budget.
Yeah.
Because all the advertising budget's going to big blockbuster movies. And 2, going to the movies is expensive.
It really is, to the point where I would absolutely never fault anyone who doesn't regularly go to theaters ever. It's unaffordable for so many people. And I just cannot fault the film. I cannot fault the general public for not going, at least not regularly.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, right? And we live in a time where you can't go see 10 movies a year in the theaters. It's ridiculous. It costs, if you want snacks, if you want popcorn and a soda, you're not getting to see a movie for less than $30.
And like, we live in New York, where, and I'm sure this isn't across obviously the entire state, but where we are, sometimes a movie is, because sometimes there's not even matinee options. Sometimes it's just straight up $19, $20 a movie. You're
like, if you go on a date, you're looking at $80 to $100 to go see a movie, and that's insane. When we were kids, we were going like group of guys to go see a movie. It was $30 for everything.
Yeah, and I know I saw recently there was that news story, and someone correct me, because we go to Regal more often than AMC.
Yeah.
But I saw that AMC, I think, was doing something along the lines of like cheaper movies on Wednesdays, which that's a good idea. That's the kind of thing that I think will actually make a difference. It's not the bells and whistles like making like theaters, like I've seen the fact that people put out, let's put like daycares or like junk, like ball pits in theaters, like no gimmicks, just make it more affordable. That's what will get people back.
Make it more affordable. That's the key. Memberships, like Jay said, memberships are really great, but memberships have to be better. They have to offer more. They have to be more incentivized, because the whole point is you want people in the seats.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll admit it. I have been very on and off with Regal Unlimited. I do think it is a great deal when used.
Yeah.
But we're busy enough to where we easily go months without going to a theater. So at that point, it's like,
it has to be a group. It has to be a group effort. It has to be a group effort between studios and movie theaters.
Yeah.
Because movie theaters are now trying. They're offering a lot more now than they used to. It's up to movie studios now to pull their weight and extend the release window
Yeah.
Don't release them. Like some of the movies that I named, almost all of the movies that I named were on streaming 2 weeks to 4 weeks after release, which is a huge disservice to those really fantastic films.
Which is outrageous.
It's disgusting.
The fact that there are any movies, and I think it's Disney that has the 90-day requirement for at least some of them.
It's crazy. Final Destination came out last week? It's going to be on streaming June 3rd.
Yeah.
That's insane. And it's doing okay. The problem is there's no trust. There's no inherent trust to give something time to grow legs. Look at what Disney did with what was the last big movie that had huge legs? Besides like The Lion King.
Lilo's in Stitch, I think, is currently
Little Mermaid? Was it Little Mermaid? No, it was Mufasa.
No, and Mufasa did well. So did Inside Out 2.
Mufasa, they left in theaters. It originally got destroyed by Sonic 3, which it should have, because Sonic 3 is a better movie. But Mufasa had tremendous legs because it was a movie during a time when there weren't many other kids movies out, and they kept it all throughout the holiday season into the new year.
Yeah.
And it made a ton of money, and theaters just don't have that trust. Studios just don't have that trust anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the other problem is that when it's in big studio like Disney, and I cannot remember, I know there was like a controversy with one of their like super big outputs. It might have even been a Star Wars movie, to where they told theaters, like, you must have this showing for X amount of time or you're just not going to get it from us at all.
Yeah.
And because unfortunately that's going to perform better than a tiny indie, a lot of those theaters would take it, even the smaller ones, to the point where they just wouldn't have other stuff on their screens. And that's really terrible.
Yeah, it's really gross. It's gross, and we need to make movies affordable because, especially with the world we live in, people can't afford $50 for 2 people to go see a movie. It's disgusting.
And then that's the sad thing, to where when people are faced with the decision of they can go, but they have to pick and choose. Of course, they're understandably going to pick the big blockbuster and save the indie or the lower budget film for streaming or just to even rent VOD.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the July box office looks, because there's a huge battle brewing in July for movie theaters. And it's really curious to see what movies people are choosing to go see. Because again, to see all 3 of those films, to see Jurassic World Rebirth, followed by Superman, followed by Fantastic Four, week after week after week, you're looking at minimum $30 a shot for one person to see those movies. Back to back to back. And it's just not feasible. Hell, I don't even want to pay that. It's crazy to think about. So it's going to be really curious to see which movies of those 3 are the ones that succeeds and which ones don't, because it's kind of very telling in terms of how the public is anticipating films and how the public are, which movies, which studios do they have faith in, which brands do they have faith in.
I mean, I feel like we can mostly agree on
That's
this.
fair. I'm not going to say that, because I want to see it. I love hey, Universal, I love Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm gonna go see it twice.
I mean, the most positive thing I can say is it has Jonathan Bailey.
Yes, from Wicked, who's fantastic. He's so great.
Other than that, I don't know.
It's got Scarlett Johansson.
I know.
It's got Blade. It's got Blade before Blade's got Blade. It's got Mahershala.
And he is great.
Jurassic World got Blade before Blade got Blade. That's crazy.
That's so dark.
Think about that. That's insane. But obviously the 2 big ones for me.
Yeah.
I'm a comic book nerd. It's obviously Superman and Fantastic Four.
Which is insane that they're so close.
It's really interesting to see the marketing teams like really going at it right now.
Yeah.
And they have 2 completely different marketing styles for those movies. I think Superman is doing a fantastic job of generating hype for that movie and making Superman feel like an experience, making it feel. I said this in our trailer reaction, and every piece of media that comes out from that movie, every piece of promotional material makes that movie feel like it is going to be an experience. It makes you feel the weight. It makes you feel the importance of that film, because that is a very important film. There's no denying it. It is make or break for DC Studios. That film needs to at least do okay in order for DC to really have a solid future in cinema. And you feel that. And not only that, but you feel that DC knows that, and that they took the steps to make sure this is going to be a fantastic movie. No pun intended.
No, that's the wrong pun intended.
But speaking of fantastic, then you turn
Mm.
around, you see what Fantastic Four's marketing team is doing, and they're leaning super heavy into the period
Yeah.
of that film, which I think is insanely smart because that is the unique nature of that movie. That's the thing that that film has that other movies don't have, especially other superhero movies, especially the 2 other MCU movies that
Yeah, you're just loud.
oh, sorry. I'm just getting into it. I'm getting impassioned. That's really what that movie has that the other 2 MCU movies this year didn't have. It has a unique theme and aesthetic and vibe. And I really, really love that the marketing team is leaning into that, especially like the stuff they're doing for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals.
Right. Oh my
the
god.
NBA promos where they have the classic like ESPN logo come up on screen, and they had the actors film special promos for the conference finals, which I think is really, really cool and something they used to do earlier in the MCU tenure, and even with other movies previously that they don't really do a lot of anymore. So stuff like that is really fun. And as we're gearing up, we're 1 month away almost, pretty soon, to those releases. I can't wait to see what other fun things the marketing team plans up, including giving me a screening to both movies.
Whoa, you're not even being subtle about it.
Marvel, please! I just want to see Fantastic Four. Just give me a
Aw.
ticket. I'll pay for it. Just
Oh wait, I think you can do that on your own. Marvel doesn't have to
give
do
me,
that.
but I want to see it with press. I don't want it spoiled.
I mean, that's fair.
That was one of the best parts of seeing Thunderbolts early. We saw that without having to avoid or going out of our way to dodge spoilers.
Yeah, no, like that. I'm so fortunate that we had that experience. And it was great because everyone in that theater was excited to see the movie. They were there for that movie. So there was also just a great
Whoa.
energy.
Yeah,
Whoa!
raid.
Thank you, pizza.
Pizza. I can't see it. Where I'm streaming. Was that were we rated by Ali? I didn't see it. I might be able to see it, and maybe I just glanced by it. We got a lot of messages come in at that exact moment. Okay. Yeah, we got rated by Ollie Wyman. If you guys aren't following Ollie over on Twitch, go follow him. He's the voice of Aster Phoenix from Yu-Gi-Oh! For all my Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans out there. From Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. The 12th best duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Wait, where did 12 come from?
No, because he canonically says he is the 4th best. Or Pegasus calls him the 4th best duelist.
I know canonically, but where did you get 12 from?
Because there's Jaden, there's Chaz, there's Zane.
There's technically Cyrus, probably.
There's probably Cyrus.
But Bastion's not better.
No, Bastion sucks. Bastion's the worst duelist.
Alexis is probably better.
If they let Alexis be good, she'd probably be better. But they did Alexis so dirty.
Bye, Blackwing. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye, Blackwing. Thanks for joining us.
There's so many things we could say about GX.
This is the MontyVerse.
Yes.
We talk about things and stuff.
Whoa, I did not know that Ollie was in the Dune audiobook.
He's also doing who does he play in the Dune audio? Does he voice the sandworms? He's also doing, which is something I'm really excited for. He has a lot of roles in the audiobook for Superman of All Seasons.
Oh,
which is one of my favorite Superman stories of all time.
That's amazing.
I've had multiple people ask me what Superman comics I should read in anticipation for Superman, and there's 2 that I recommend to people without giving more detail, without asking them for what exactly they're looking for, and that is Superman for All Seasons, which I think is a really fantastic Superman story, and the Superman comic, which is All-Star Superman. It is a Superman story at the end of Superman's life, but is a story that epitomizes everything that is special about Superman, and it just embodies and delivers everything that a Superman story should have, and it tells you everything you need to know about that character.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love how deep that was.
The deep from the boys.
No.
Anybody want a Fresca?
When is that last season coming out?
I don't know. Starring friend of the channel, Jack Quaid. I don't know.
That's
friend of the show, Jack Quaid. I don't know, but we'll support it because we'll support friend of the show, Jack Quaid.
Hey, we're happy if you came from
Mr. Coffee, Mr. Coffee.
That's what I thought. That's how I thought.
There's an origin to that name, but I'll let Ollie tell that. You guys are gonna have to go to Ollie's stream to know the origin of Mr. Coffee.
I always just assumed it was like coffee, the beverage.
It is.
Okay, good. I'm smart.
It is the beverage. You just had to spell it that way.
Oh my god.
we're happy to have you.
Yes, thank you guys for coming.
We're happy to take all of Ollie's followers.
Yes.
And absorb them.
I was gonna say we do
into
talk
our following.
We do talk about Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes. Oh,
Not
nice.
only did we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, we hosted a Yu-Gi-Oh event.
Yes, in New York.
Oh, that's really cute. Which Power Ranger figurine? What color? What color Ranger did you have?
I mean, maybe they can tell us the character.
I feel like color is easier than character, right?
I know, but I'm just saying.
I gave them an out. I made it easy for them. Tell us what color. Tell her what color Ranger it was. Probably. I'm gonna guess. Blue. Just threw it out there. Threw a shot in the dark out there. Oh, that's funny. Actually, he told the coffee story tonight.
Oh, that is funny.
That is really funny.
Look, I'm a huge coffee drinker. I respect it. That's a clever name.
I just pound energy drinks.
No, that's what they said. They had every color.
Oh, okay. They had every color. Okay. I thought they said, I see. I didn't read the every. I just saw single. I thought they only had one.
What? No.
It's hard. You know how hard it is to vamp while also reading comments that you pull up?
No.
It's challenging.
I'm just great.
Okay. Settle down now. Settle down. Take it easy. We don't need all that. Settle it down.
All right.
But it's good that you had every color.
Yes.
You don't want to choose.
I can choose.
Choose what?
Color.
Why?
You have a favorite color.
No, I don't.
This was actually a conversation we had recently because your favorite color in general is red.
Yeah.
But all your favorite Rangers are green.
That's true. It's quite the conflict.
Oh my god! Thank you so much.
I love the little add-on to it. It's like you're a nice couple somehow.
No,
somehow
that's fair.
You two are nice.
That's a fair assessment.
Somehow you guys aren't complete scumbags, just slight scumbags.
But anyway, no, I think that's fair to say. The majority of your favorite Rangers are green.
Yeah.
Between Ziggy and Izzy.
Yep.
And you love Adam.
Love Adam.
I'm confident. I've said this so many times. I bet I can name his top 5 Green Rangers.
You
in
probably
order.
could, but we're not going to, because that's got to be a video. You got to make that a video. I mean, if you haven't figured it out now, I'm pretty sure you could figure it out.
No. We did not take offense by it.
No, we didn't take offense. It's just the funny phrasing of it. I like to find the humor in things, and that was very humorous.
No, and we appreciate it. No, thank you very much.
No,
I like to think that we're nice.
No,
and a couple.
She's definitely a thing. I'm nice. I'm so great.
Okay, whatever.
I put the Monty in MontyVerse. Okay.
Oh my god. Do you know what I've been seeing lately?
Adam is goated.
Do you know what I've seen lately?
What?
I've seen a lot of Adam backlash.
What?
From people claiming that people are just biased because of Johnny. And I don't think that's fair.
The problem is like, no, because who is the first person to have any sort of concern for Alpha?
I mean, Billy probably.
No, but vocally in the episode, it was Adam. Adam said,
in the finale.
We have to get you guys out of here. He was the first one.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing. It's like, and this is going to be the most backhanded compliment. The standard for the Mighty Morphin Rangers was not exactly high.
It was rock bottom at that point.
So, yes. Does Adam take some time to really develop as a character? Yes. But so did a lot of them. And he gets, obviously, I have not seen Zeo and Turbo yet. But from everything I've heard and from what you've told me, and I feel like you've given me fairly good assessments of everything, he seems like he's going to be a pretty great character. Is he going to be the most bombastic, the most outwardly, I don't know how to describe it, but he's not a huge personality like Tommy or Jason or Zach, but I'm excited to see that, how he evolves. And again, part of that is probably because Johnny is a talented actor.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I am drinking white Monster Energy.
Oh, he loves Monster.
I love monsters. Music guy, thanks for the $2 donation. You will get exactly what you're getting now. So if it's a multi-parter,
you'll get it all at once.
You'll get every episode of the multi-parter at once. And then also, after 2 weeks, that multi-parter will be up all at once for free. So there's no change. There's not going to be any change in how you're getting it, or more or less. membership, it's just 2 weeks early. That's all there is. Power Rangers is still going to be free, and it's still going to be just as we are distributing it now. So you're getting everything. It's just a slight delay by 2 weeks. For members are going to be getting it 2 weeks early, and that's it.
That's it. Exactly. And we appreciate the donation. Thank you so much.
100%.
But anyway, yeah, Adam, I'm assuming he's still great.
Adam is great. Adam is really great. The problem is they just never gave the Stone Canyon trio any character development. They gave them nothing to do.
At least in Mighty Morphin.
He is significantly better in Zeo already, in the 2 episodes of Zeo that we've gotten, because they actually gave him dialogue.
And from what I've heard about too, it's the same for Rocky. He gets more to do in Zeo.
Yeah.
And that he, without the burden of being the Red Ranger, he gets to thrive and have more of his own character.
Yeah. He's not a punk like Rocky. He doesn't suck.
All right. I'm just making the point for the remaining Stone Canyon trio that Zeo does at least give them that due.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have a Patreon yet. We might be soon. We're trying not to make it too convoluted with the memberships right now.
Yeah, and that's something that we had looked into very, very deeply for a long time, just as another option for memberships, because that's one that's very common amongst YouTubers. But again, we do want to make this as easy as possible. And the benefit of the memberships is it's right there on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's not off the table yet, because Patreon has, I'm sure, features and options that YouTube memberships don't. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple and do YouTube memberships. But again, who knows? In the future, maybe we'll find a use for it and we'll let you all know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to read the comments and I froze for a second.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he will end up doing more.
Yeah.
This is pretty funny.
Yeah, 100%. It's not that they were scared and they were doing too much.
Yeah.
They were doing too much and too little at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's something that I can say positively about season 3, especially during Alien Rangers, where it doesn't feel like it's just the Tommy show anymore.
Yeah.
It feels like they try, whether it's always good or not, they try to give the others something to do. And I think we talked about it, his quest for his Zeo crystal actually benefited him.
The only character development he got outside of Kimberly in season 3 was his Zeo Quest episode, and I think that was great, and it worked well, because for anyone who says Tommy was a good leader as the White Ranger, you're wrong. He just, statistically, if you look at it, he just wasn't, and the decisions that he was still growing into the role. He was a lone wolf. As the Green Ranger, he operated at his own pace, and he showed up when he wanted to. He kept forgetting things. He was the 6th Ranger. Yeah, and
which is the fact that he couldn't just let that be, as if he wasn't already popular and cool enough as it was.
Yeah.
And this is something that honestly really surprised me with the Zeo premiere, because obviously I knew going in he was going to become the Red Ranger. It felt so much more earned than when he became the leader as the White Ranger.
Yes.
I was nervous going into this it's because he's the popular one. He's the most senior member now. It was just going to feel like a requirement. No, it actually I just love that sequence in general, but for him, it's you know what, this feels good. I like their approach to how his character has progressed and giving him this mantle of both the Red Ranger and the leader.
Yeah. And the Zeo Quest defines his transition into being a better leader.
Yeah, and I completely agree with this, because I do love the way that it's still continuity with Mighty Morphin, but it does feel like we are moving on to something different.
It refreshed me, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Which is the most important thing that they did.
Also, this is super nice.
That's really sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No.
Yeah, if you're looking at our Twitch numbers are low, because we really just started on Twitch. We have a pretty decent following on YouTube, but that's really sweet of you to say.
No,
and
thank you.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, honestly, credit to Pizza, who has probably taught us the most about Twitch that we probably know.
Pizza, who I will be stealing from Ollie.
No.
I will be. I tell Ollie all the time, I'm gonna, what's that word I'm looking at? It's escaping me at the moment. I'm gonna
poach
pizza. There we go.
And she would deserve to be poached, because she's that great. But no, thank you so much. But no, in general, I mean, obviously go watch our reaction if you haven't yet. We're very high on that Zeo premiere.
Yeah.
And Adam.
And very high on Adam. But check out our Zeo premiere because we got to move on. We got to talk about other things because there's so many things to talk about today. Apparently,
I was gonna say the problem is we had so many ideas and then we pivoted to film and all this other stuff, which I hope so badly you guys have been enjoying. I'm gonna assume so, or you all would have left. But
we got 335 people watching across all of our socials right now, which is really cool.
Yes.
So I imagine that they're enjoying it somewhat.
I hope
hopefully.
So. You can't find our YouTube.
It's not linked on Twitch. Yeah, Pizza's gonna help me. Pizza's gonna help me set up some stuff on Twitch. She said she would, but YouTube, it's youtube.com/the MontyVerse.
Yeah,
or you could just Google the MontyVerse. We're pretty much the only ones.
Yeah, it's the MontyVerse on every platform except Instagram, where it's just MontyVerse.
Yeah, and Jilted brings up the exact reason why I kind of just swipe away from. We have things that we want to talk about, which we will. We're going to talk about Spider-Man and we're going to talk about One Piece, but we kind of just roll with what comes up naturally because we want to keep you guys engaged. We want to keep us engaged, and this has felt like we've been going for an hour and 18 minutes. It hasn't felt like it.
No,
it feels like we've been talking nonstop.
And go ahead. Sorry.
That's the best, and that's the reason why we do it.
Well, I mean, that's so much kind of like our mission statement is doing stuff that we're passionate about, that we have fun with, that we hope that you all enjoy. Thank you for the sub. Oh
Thank
my God.
you so much.
You're so kind.
Oh, what a legend. We got to pull this comment up. Thank you so much.
This is going to be a guess. Is it pronounced? It's Slizo.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
I was gonna say, hopefully we'll get on Twitch. I would love to play games.
Well, we're on Twitch right now. It's just we have to fix up our Twitch page. I haven't worked on it really. I've worked on every single social account besides Twitch.
We'll work on it and work on content specific for it.
For Twitch, yeah, which would be really cool. But you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about. Oh, you're heading to Fan Expo Dallas. That's really cool. We were at Philly. We did Fan Expo Philly,
and I do MegaCon every year.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was last weekend.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's crazy. Time is flying.
Thank you. You guys are too nice tonight.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Jace, appreciate it. You know, we know you're in the Discord, and we know that you're always watching. So.
Oh yeah, we also have a Discord.
Well, we have the stream bot.
I know.
I don't know if it's Twitch. I don't know if the stream bot shows up on Twitch, but we have a Discord too.
Yes.
That you could join where we kind of post our updates. But
anyway, go on. We had so many things.
You hear what's going on with that Spider-Man's?
What about that Spider-Man? Oh yeah. Oh, you mean the green guy?
The insane news we got for Spider-Man Brand New Day today out of nowhere. I was trying to enjoy my lunch on Memorial Day, and out of nowhere we get a tremendous scoop for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah.
Which has kind of been in a limbo period of, will it be multiversal like Brand New Day? Will it be multiversal like No Way Home? Will it be street level like the ending of No Way Home teased?
Yeah.
A street level Spider-Man. And with them, originally the movie was supposed to come out in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So that made me a little nervous, like, oh God, this might be multiversal. This might be a larger than life Spider-Man movie because it has to tie into those two Avengers movies, or it may be affected by whatever happens in Doomsday leading into Secret Wars. Maybe it'll take place on Battleworld. Who knows? But then they moved back Doomsday and Secret Wars. Mm-hmm. So Spider-Man would now be coming out first. And that made me excited because, okay, now we don't have to kind of roll off of Doomsday and kind of spin off of an Avengers movie. Now this can just be a Spider-Man movie on its own. Not only that, but it would be the next Marvel movie releasing after Fantastic Four in July.
Which is crazy.
Which is the biggest gap we've had in MCU release since pandemic era.
I was going to say, because that was only because of pandemic era. Yeah. Because I'm struggling to even remember the last year where there weren't, I mean, not including last year, because last year was a massive exception.
Yeah.
But otherwise, most years have 3 MCU films.
So what ended up happening today is, courtesy of Nexus Point News, who got the exclusive, somehow Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner will be appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which made me look at Nikki and go, what? Because they have this really interesting trope in all the MCU Spider-Man movies where somehow every movie features an active or past Avenger and or Avenger level character.
Yeah.
And none of the Spider-Man movies can just be Spider-Man movies. And that is really bothersome to me.
I know. And what I was wondering immediately once you told me that was, could this possibly be him just being in a mid-credit scene? Will it be a smaller role? Until you told me that this is predicated on comics.
Yeah, it's not only is it predicated on comics, but Nexus Point News kind of also goes into detail about the role, and they explicitly state that this is going to be a substantial role. It's not just going to be a cameo. He's going to be featured in a big portion of the movie.
Yeah.
Which I find really, really interesting. And it's really weird, right? Because Bruce Banner and Peter Parker have never interacted in the MCU before this. And now to kind of put Hulk in this Spider-Man movie, especially with the villains that were rumored to be in it, because there was another rumor that came out that was teasing the villains of the film, and they were Scorpion and Boomerang and these really small scale street level villains. And as someone who's a really big fan of Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery, I was excited to see, like, Tombstone was another one. I was excited to see Scorpion and Tombstone and Boomerang, because they're characters that aren't featured regularly in Spider-Man movies, but also characters that are super important to the Spider-Man mythos. Like Scorpion is a really big Spider-Man villain, not in terms of his importance, but it's a villain that we haven't seen on screen before, that was teased all the way in the first MCU Spider-Man film. And now, out of nowhere, you're incorporating Bruce Banner's Hulk into that. And I have so many questions, because the last time we saw Hulk was in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And he was Smart Hulk again, and he kind of had a son that we never addressed.
Yeah, that was, and I feel like what's crazy is there's the trope going around of all of these plot threads and mid-credit scenes that haven't been addressed. That wasn't even a post-credit scene. That was literally just one of the end scenes of the show.
Yeah, and I'm so curious as to what they're doing, because there's, in terms of Brand New Day, if you guys are comic book fans, you know that the comic that the title of this movie refers to, and it's one of the most hotly contested Spider-Man stories of all time. That is spinning off of one of the most critical Spider-Man moments of all time, involving a deal with Mephisto.
Yeah.
Aunt May's life in exchange for Peter and MJ's marriage, which is really, really, really weird. And during that story, there's a moment where Peter talks to the Hulk.
Yeah.
And the Hulk somehow remembers who Peter Parker is, even though he made a deal to make everyone forget his identity. And Peter goes, wait, how do you know who I am? And he goes, Banner, you made everyone forget. Banner forgot, but I didn't. Which is really, really interesting, because it's not the first time that's happened to the Hulk in the comic books, because it also happened with the Sentry as well. And the Sentry's origin story, Bruce Banner forgot who the Sentry was, just like every other Marvel hero, but Hulk didn't. Hulk remembered both the Sentry and the Void, and he was one of the only people to remember right away. So I feel like they're doing this just so they can have that moment.
Yeah.
And it feels so weird.
It feels very weird, because it's like, I'm not inherently against Bruce being in the film at all, but just depending on his usage, is he going to overshadow him? Is this going to impact? Because we talked about how street level is such an overused term at this point for superhero films. This felt like it was actually intended to be so, and now is this going to prevent that from happening? We don't know.
I have no idea. And Lego Show TV brings up a really good point. Mr. Negative was another villain that was referred to, who also is involved in the comic book story Brand New Day, that was teased for this movie. He was one of the main villains of the Sony Spider-Man PS4 game, which I really, really love. I think that's the best modern Spider-Man story of this generation. And so to kind of involve Mr. Negative, and now, like, yeah, he's gonna mind control the Hulk, but that was just the first Avengers movie. Now we're just retreading stuff that we already did, and it's really concerning, right? Because
concerning.
Because it's a betrayal of what the ending of No Way Home was.
Yeah.
Which was them saying, this is Spider-Man now. He is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that we know and love from the comics. That was their explanation of it. Like, it took us 3 movies, but it's a 3-movie origin story for the MCU Spider-Man. And now he's going to have the status quo of Spider-Man. The only problem is the MCU went through a lot since
Yeah.
that movie. And now they're pivoting, and Sony's pivoting because Sony also had a lot of big failures in terms of the Spider-Man franchise and Madam Web, my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time.
Yeah.
Craven. So they're kind of like, no, we need to make this big and we need to make as much money on this as possible.
Which is so obnoxious because I feel I'm personally a fan of the way the MCU has handled Peter. I really like his movies. They're not necessarily my favorites in the MCU, but I think they're solid. And it's just weird the stuff that they keep doing and jerking around with him, that it feels like he's not thriving the way he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm concerned as a Spider-Man fan. I'm concerned. You know what, Lego? That's not crazy.
Wait, look.
Listen. I love Madam Web.
Yes.
I'm always down to rewatch Madam Web. It is bad, but it's good bad.
It is very good bad because that was one you did get to see early.
I got to see that was quite the viewing experience.
It was a viewing experience, and your reaction to it and everything you told me about it made me want to go see it as soon as possible.
Sony really needed to hire me for the marketing team because they didn't market this movie correctly. It needed to be marketed as a meme movie. Because I got out of my press screening for Madam Web, and I texted Nikki immediately and I said that was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I did not stop laughing from beginning to end. No
lies detected. That is exactly what happened.
I cried tears. I laughed so hard I cried in Madam Web. And that's joy. That's a cinematic experience you can't get. Good or bad. If a movie's good or bad, if it makes you feel something in a theater,
yes,
that is really powerful.
We're at a point where there's nothing worse than a boring movie.
Oh man, boring movies are the movies that make you look at your watch and go, how much time is left, and makes you count the minutes. Those are the worst movies.
Even if it's competent, that's way worse than an actively terrible movie.
Yeah.
At least as a viewer.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. What's up, Adam?
What's up, Adam?
We were just talking about Adam Park, the frog himself.
But it is crazy because looking forward for the MCU, next is Ironheart.
Yeah. Which
we're excited to check out.
It's weird. There was just that report this week about how much Cap 4 and Thunderbolts underperformed. They made money,
yeah,
but they underperformed, especially Cap 4 for a Captain America movie. But it's Sam's first movie as Captain America. And you're coming off of slumps. Deadpool was a massive hit, but Deadpool was a gimmick movie. It brought back Hugh Jackman's X-Men character Wolverine. Why did I say it like that? It brought back Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
I was going to say, the rest of the X-Men were very decidedly not there.
The previous two Deadpool movies did insanely well at the box office. So it had a lot of things going for it. Beyond that, the MCU has been lukewarm at best in terms of their films.
Yeah, film, yes.
So it's not surprising, but the fact that we're having an upward trajectory in terms of both quality and box office, kind of, sort of, is a good sign.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the narrative they're spinning. They're choosing to spin the negative narrative that goes along with that, which is expected. There's a lot of MCU haters out there. There's a lot of people who want to see this franchise fail for some reason. I don't know why, because if the MCU fails, it's bad for everything, especially if you're a comic book fan. If the MCU fails and you like comic book movies, you're in trouble. I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I believe in bad storytelling fatigue. I feel like people are tired of terrible superhero movies. And I think if we keep making stuff like Thunderbolts and word of mouth starts to pick up again, I think if we get a back-to-back hit in Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, I think that gives us an amazing amount of energy going into Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is TBD at the moment because they really have to nail this movie.
I know. And like, there's still time. Obviously, there's still a lot we really don't know about the movie yet.
Yeah.
And again, the stuff that is in the immediate future, I am really excited to see between Ironheart and Fantastic Four. It's from there where it's going to be a lot of unknown territory because after Fantastic Four is Eyes of Wakanda. And then I'm not even sure like what.
Probably Daredevil.
Season 2. Let me check real quick because Ironheart is, from what I read, the official end of Phase 5, which is kind of weird.
Which is so weird considering how far removed it is from a lot that's going on. But beyond that, I think a lot of it hinges on Fantastic Four. I think this July is insanely important for the history of movies. Not only that, for the history of superhero movies. I want nothing more, like the fact that there is a beef going on between people wanting to see Fantastic Four and Superman is kind of crazy. I, as a comic book fan and as a comic book reader, I want both of those movies to succeed.
And this is like I completely forgot about these. Marvel Zombies is this October.
Oh my god.
And then the one that I really keep forgetting, but that I am really interested in, Wonder Man.
Yeah, that was like there's so
But that was
little,
years ago.
There's so little fanfare for this. Like Ironheart. Why are we getting no marketing for Ironheart?
It's insane because we really liked that trailer.
The trailer was really good. The show looked good visually. They released one trailer, and then on Saturday of all times, it's randomly on a Saturday they dropped a new poster, which looked really good.
Yeah, and then I mean, the most telling thing was when they released it the same day as the Superman trailer.
Yeah, it's nonsensical. They released it literally the same day as Superman, knowing it would get overshadowed by Superman easily. Why are they burying the show? It can't be worse than stuff we've already gotten. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I don't disagree.
I don't disagree either. Dumb people who don't know what woke means and who just don't like, honestly, to call comic books anything comic book related woke is so dumb to me.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who did so much research and read so much about comic books growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Comic books were woke from the inception of comic books. Are you kidding me? Comic books were propaganda, war propaganda at one point. They were anti-Nazi propaganda written by Jewish men living in New York. Like all of this was the X-Men. The X-Men, whether or not they originated as civil rights leaders, surrogates,
mm-hmm.
they evolved into that. Like to say that comic book movies shouldn't be woke is the dumbest thing I've ever heard ever.
Or using it as a pejorative.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Comic books and politics, comic books and heavy themes have been tied together from the inception of comic books.
Yeah. And then the worst is that people weaponize the term to criticize anything that has any type of representation, whether or not the work makes a point of making that as a core theme, because there's a lot of representation in the MCU. But like, for example, people use it for the Marvels because, God forbid they had 3 female leads, 2 who were women of color. But that wasn't even what the movie was about. It was just about this story between these 3 really strong characters that we both really enjoyed, had some strong emotional beats. I think it had some problems, but like for people to devolve their criticism of the movie with the term woke is just so short-sighted.
The dumbest take I ever heard regarding Ironheart was, who asked for this? No one asked for this. No one asked for Ant-Man.
No one asked for Iron Man.
No one asked for Guardians of the Galaxy. People forget that Iron Man was a B-tier hero at best when that movie came out. People forget that Marvel was essentially working with scraps when they started the MCU. Yeah, for comic book readers, they weren't scraps. For comic book readers, we knew who Iron Man was. We knew who the Avengers was. You know how many people texted me the weekend that Iron Man came out asking me who the hell the Avengers were and what the hell the Avenger Initiative was? Because no one knew. No one knew outside of really nerdy comic book people what the Avengers were.
Nice.
Dude,
I'm very happy for you.
You were the one person that asked for it, Kate? That's crazy.
I'm very happy for you, though, because you got it.
Crazy. Everyone, go follow K20, especially the people who ask me where I get some of my hats from, because they're from him. So he's the patch god. Go follow him. But yeah, K20, you messed up my rant. I was on my soapbox, and now I had to hop off. We were talking about kind of like all of the arguments that are being made against the MCU and against comic book movies right now, the really stupid arguments.
Yeah, like I mean, and a lot of that I think is just the way that film discourse and criticism has devolved on certain corners of the internet.
Film criticism is shot nowadays. Media literacy is dead. Film criticism is shot outside of actual film journalists and critics.
I want to give credit to some people. Like, it's not every single person who opens their mouth about movies.
No.
Because like, let's also not act like
you're right. That was a generalization.
Yeah. But it's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I was
But
being dramatic.
you guys know what we mean. Though.
No, not the black hats.
Not the plain ones.
This is your first video, so you haven't. I have a vast collection of hats.
Like humongous.
I have my own commercial hat rack just off camera where I have a plethora of hats of every. I have One Piece hats, comic book hats for every character, Power Ranger hats, K20 made me Sentai hats. So
yeah.
I got hats coming out of every orifice.
We do actually have Yu-Gi-Oh hats.
Yes, I have Yu-Gi-Oh hats.
Also fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what, and the thing is that I do hate what is it?
Chonzo, that's so great.
Yeah.
Chonzo's statement is because we literally had this conversation last week.
Yeah.
Because the book directly over Nikki's shoulder, that book right there is the beginning of the Green Arrow, Green Lantern comic book.
Yeah.
And that is one of my favorite comic books of all time. It is a comic book that defines the character of Oliver Queen to me. And for anyone who's watched Arrow, I'm sorry, you don't know who Oliver Queen is in the comic books. That show has done so much damage to the character of Green Arrow. But that's the book that held the mirror up to society in our face. And it pushed the boundaries of not only comics, but storytelling and the comic book authority. And it exposed a lot of serious issues to young readers and older readers alike, like the casual racism that people experience on a daily basis, like drug use and the drug epidemic that was going on during the 70s. So, yeah, comic books has always been tied to really heavy themes, and they've always tried to tell really human and personal and impactful stories using larger than life characters and themes. And that's why I love comic books. That's why I read comic books.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the biggest thing is that in this, and I also want to bring up Jace's point. Because to me, because I obviously have not read nearly as many as you have, but from what I have, it's like any great piece of art or literature, and it should be reflective of culture, of these strong themes, of just reflecting society and people back in a meaningful way that just furthers really good, thoughtful, incisive discourse. And I don't like the idea of comics being looked down upon or having like such a negative stigma against them, like less so than any other form of literature.
Yeah. And I would push back that there are a lot of comic books, modern comic books, that really do like there's some really great indie books that I read. And if you follow me on Twitter, I did a top 10 list last year, and there were some really fantastic indie books that were really heavy in terms of themes and character work. But even if you're looking at continuing series like Nightwing, the way that Nightwing pushed the boundaries of society, and how Dick Grayson, who was a wealthy person, he inherited Alfred's will, all of Alfred's savings. He was like, I'm going to do something with my wealth. And it explored him trying to make Bloodhaven better as both Nightwing and Dick Grayson, which I think was really impactful in today's society. Like, there are still stories that push the boundaries out there. So don't get discouraged. There are a lot of really fantastic writers writing some really amazing stories.
Yes. And I think they deserve just as much recognition as any author or director or anyone that's creating a great piece of art.
Digimon, bro. You're assuming I only have one. I have actually multiple Digimon hats, and they're all pretty damn sick, I have to say.
You're wearing multiple One Piece hats this weekend,
yeah,
I think.
I wore multiple One Piece hats. Yeah. Speaking of One Piece.
Yeah, speaking of One Piece.
that was a great transition point.
It really was, because it is on the thumbnail. It is something we have wanted to talk about.
I've been talking about One Piece all weekend to Nikki. It's crazy. I've been watching clips from One Piece live action all weekend.
Y'all, like, I'm not exaggerating. Monty has watched the final scene of the live action One Piece no fewer than like 30 times since this weekend.
I would argue that the live action One Piece is a lightning in the bottle experience.
Yeah.
Not only is it the best live action anime adaptation we've gotten and might ever get.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic season of television that has a fully complete arc, story-wise and thematically from beginning to end. And it is such an emotionally cathartic series that I think that it is one of the best shows of the time when it aired and to this day.
I honestly, I just can't put into words how masterful of an adaptation it is, of a show it is, because, I mean, we all know the song and dance at this point. If you're an anime fan, all these live action Americanized adaptations have almost across the board unanimously have sucked.
Yes.
And what they did with this show, which everyone was very rightfully skeptical of, because the first arc, the Romance Dawn arc, was like 50 something episodes. And we know the show is a long runner.
Yeah.
And with all the crazy supernatural stuff that happens in it and just the scope of that world, how is that going to translate? It is insane how amazingly they adapted it. Because it's not even just keeping the spirit of the show and translating beats and frames from the manga and anime. It's the fact that it's just adapted well, because the changes they made for the most part are fantastic. The way that they translate things into real life is fantastic, and we cannot get enough of it.
The One Piece live action series on Netflix is a masterclass in adaptation. I would argue that it is a masterclass in how you adapt any medium into another medium, because what they do is not only do they condense 50 episodes of television into
8 hours,
but they do so with losing none of the emotional impact, none of the thematic beats, none of the important story beats, and they somehow improve the stuff that had shortcomings in both the manga and anime.
Yeah.
And that is in no short order. And not only that, I think it has a huge part to do with how much of a collaborative effort it was between the showrunners. A huge shout out to Matt Owens. Also, Ichiro Oda, who was heavily involved in this show.
Yeah.
And was there to kind of approve and disapprove of things. And I think having his hand there and being able to confidently adapt his work with him giving you his blessing gave the creators a lot of confidence in what they were doing.
Yeah, because it'd be super easy for the original creator or IP holder of a work to be protective of it, to not want changes made, to not want their work tainted in any way possible. And like you said, it's collaborative, it was thoughtful, and it was willing to make changes for the benefit of the story and for what they were trying to do in adapting it and making the changes as necessary, because you cannot do like a one-to-one translation of that story with the confines that they had.
It's also impressive. A huge shout out to the casting department.
Oh my God.
Because Netflix likes to keep things in-house when they cast things. A lot of the people who are in their shows or movies, they pull from a talent pool of people that they've worked with before. But somehow this show followed that rule while also casting people who are perfect in the roles. They embody their characters on and off screen somehow, which is crazy. And a lot of that has to do with the work they put in.
Yeah.
Which is no short form.
No, we were literally, because as we were talking about it, we were watching all these behind the scenes videos, because Netflix did a great job with having the cast do a lot of vignettes and interviews, and them talking about Taz Skylar, who played Sanji, not just learning how to kick and do martial arts, also learning how to cook, because apparently he was terrible before. And that's crazy to think, just the level of detail. And he talked about the scene where he does the true bluefin tuna, which looks amazing on screen. And just the precision to get something as small as that right.
As someone who plates, it's not easy, especially when you have a camera and lights on you and people going, we have maybe 2 takes left to get this.
Yeah.
That adds so much stress. And I have so much respect for Taz, because he even said, I'm a big Sanji guy. Sanji's my favorite character. I think what the anime is doing with Sanji is horrible, because they're the ones that ruined Sanji in the first place. But I love Taz's interpretation of Sanji because it stays truer to the manga, which is the Sanji that I really love. And Taz would also say that he would spend his lunches cooking and practicing cooking by helping like Crafty cook the lunches, which I think is so impressive, because this man's working long days, because when you're filming, you film like for 12 to 16, 18 hours sometimes.
I love this so much.
You know what? There was a video this year on Valentine's Day of Taz enjoying a lollipop, I will say, on that Netflix posted. So that was fun.
That's perfect.
But I cannot praise One Piece live action enough, because what they were able to do, again, it's a lightning in the bottle series. They'll if they tried to remake it again today with the same people, I don't know if they'd be able to do it again. I don't know.
I don't know either because I am obviously we're excited. We're very excited for season 2. And from everything we've seen so far, we have all the faith in the world in it.
Yeah.
But man, like just the way they nailed everything in season 1. Like you said, lightning in a bottle, it was done so well. If they can do it again, that would be amazing. That's just such a high bar.
Yeah, I mean, because again, how do you take something like One Piece that has withstood the test of time,
Yeah.
that is still going strong to this day, and is not only has it not lost following, it's multiplied its following significant amounts on a yearly basis.
Which is saying something considering that if you want to catch up to it, that's going to take an insanely long time.
So you take something like that, and then you not only have the balls to adapt it, but you change things. Like you make significant changes to the story. And not only that, but they're better in some cases.
I mean, we're not afraid to say this.
I'm not afraid to say anything about One Piece.
We love Usopp in the live action adaptation, at least more.
In the anime, I find Usopp unbearable. He is hard to like. He is just a buffoonish character, and he's your typical joke character in anime. But I think he loses so much of his weight in the way that they treat him in the anime until later on. Again, but we're talking about the East Blue and the Romance Dawn arc of the show. And there he's really buffoonish, and I think it loses a lot of the weight. Jacob Romero's interpretation of Usopp is he deserves awards just for making me care so much about the character of Usopp and making me understand his pathos as a character.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the way they adapted his arc. I am blanking on his village's name.
Syrup
Village.
Syrup Village.
Yeah, because the way that they condensed that whole storyline, which is very long in the anime because they drag out things pretty horrendously. But the way that they condense things, the changes they made are so smart, and the way that they frame his narrative and the way they create that sympathy when at the end of the episode you see the stuff with his mom, when he's talking with Luffy about his dad, because instead of playing it over the top like it often would be in an anime, it's played with some subtlety, but he's able to convey so much with so little.
That scene in particular with Luffy when he mentions Yasopp and Jacob's reaction, his acting in that scene is so subtle, but it's so effective, because anime Usopp would have been like, that's my dad and I'm just as brave as he would have shooed it away, and he would have put up the bravado, and he would have put up the walls immediately. But for a split second, Jacob allows Usopp to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And he has that hesitation. He's like, you knew my dad. And it's just that moment right there.
Yeah.
I was sold 100%. I'm like, this is infinitely better. And I was sold on Jacob as Usopp immediately.
And it's just a great scene because it reveals stuff about Usopp. It reveals stuff further about Luffy and Yasopp. And it takes place with... Sorry. It doesn't slow down the momentum of the stuff going on. Because again, they have so much they have to do that has to be condensed. And the fact that they're able to still get that in and make it feel meaningful without slowing down the whole episode, without stopping the action, it's masterful what they do.
It's so good. And on top of that, like I would argue the stuff with Nami is also potentially better. It's streamlined, definitely, but streamlined without losing any of the impact.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is, again, unfortunately, I think a difference in the mediums, because anime allows characters to a certain extent to be over the top and larger than life. And Nami, she has a bigger temper than she has in live action. Her greediness, I think, is hiked up a lot more. And I think the more grounded performance that Emily Rudd gives is what makes her a little bit more endearing. And it makes the stuff, when we get to Arlong, hit that much harder because it's so shocking.
I would argue that beyond Luffy, beyond the gift from the heavens that was Iñaki Godoy as Luffy, I don't know how they found. I don't know where Luffy might have created him out of thin air. I don't know. Oda might have just willed him into existence.
Yeah,
because they found the perfect Luffy. I would argue that Emily Rudd as Nami is the most important casting behind Luffy of that season.
Yeah, like to the point where she's like, I didn't realize this, at least on Wikipedia, she's billed ahead of Zoro.
Yes.
Which is insane.
I think she deserves it. I think she earns that. I think as an actor, a reason why I think adapting anime into live action works, especially with a story that's so thematically driven as One Piece, is you can get actors to interpret the characters in a visual medium differently that you just can't get out of a sub or dub performance because they don't animate based off of voices, especially in the dub.
Yeah.
So while you are getting actors to perform in a dub, and it is acting, and don't get me wrong, I love voice actors and I have a tremendous amount of respect for what they do. This is different and it's something different and it gives you different shades of the same thing, which I think is the most important part of adaptation.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the biggest thing. This isn't to say that, oh, live action will always trump over animated or anime. Just in this very specific instance, because, and that's the beautiful thing about all these different mediums to tell stories between animation, live action, comics, literature. There, depending on the story, there is always going to be a best medium to tell something in.
Yeah.
And this isn't to say that live action is necessarily best for One Piece, but they are able to achieve things in that medium that you cannot get with another one that I think they take full advantage of and use to their benefit.
I'll give you the example right now. I'll give you the example that proves my point perfectly. I think the cast off ceremony in the live action One Piece series is significantly better than the cast off ceremony in the anime and in the manga, because being in live action and feeling as being the end of a complete first season, they do something that is both thematically satisfying, is referential for fans of the show, and is treated like a grandiose moment for people who know what it is, but also feels grandiose for people who don't.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of that is, and this is super emotionally impactful, is when they put their feet up and it cuts, and as they all declare their dreams, it cuts back to the child actors portraying the younger versions of their characters, stating that dream during the show. And it's so emotionally impactful to see that, because it is the ultimate answer to the thesis statement of that season, which is follow your dreams. And it is these characters showing that no matter how messed up their pasts are, no matter what kind of tragedies they've been through, it's never too late to follow your dreams. It's never too late to go out and try and be happy, and to show them as children at probably the lowest points in their life, and to now see them as adults finally setting out to chase all of their dreams, is the thesis statement of One Piece, which is follow your dreams. And that moment not only perfectly summates the first season of that show, it perfectly summates the entirety of One Piece. And I can't stop rewatching it.
You literally can't. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, I've posted it on my Instagram. I can't stop rewatching it.
I know, but and that's the great. Like, I just want to rewatch it ASAP, because that may honestly.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Grandiose, like the grand line.
Like the grand line. We're
No.
heading there.
Oh, I will just say, like, I don't even remember what movies I saw in 2023. I think One Piece was just the best media I watched that entire year.
It's because I had just started the anime like a year before that.
Yeah.
I was new to the anime, and we burned through like 200 or something episodes. And I watched the live action. The live action made me love One Piece more than I already did.
Yeah.
Because of that thematic driving force of the show, which is follow your dreams, which is never give up, which is to always look for the silver lining. And after you battle darkness and after you deal with dark times, to have that much positivity. It's such a feel-good show.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to make you feel good, but also in a way that is thematically satisfying.
That was so beautiful.
What can I say? I'm just like a student of Oda Sensei. What can I say?
I love it.
The reason why we were talking about One Piece is because Netflix's TUDUM is this Saturday. It's Saturday at 8, and that means that we are getting not only our first look at One Piece season 2, but to potentially a first trailer.
Which is crazy, because I remember that period. I don't even know how long ago it was at this point, when they had all those casting announcements just rapid fire. And now knowing that I don't know if the filming is done, but a lot of it is done at this point. Just to maybe finally see some of that new footage is so exciting.
I just want to see the characters in costume. We haven't even
Yeah.
seen that yet.
Which, I mean, that's a good thing. I think they're good to keep it under wraps until they want people to see it the way they want them to. But I can't wait.
I hope they give us something. I hope we see Nico. I
Yeah.
hope we see Vivi. I just want a trailer. Just give me a trailer. They promised something big. Obviously, Chopper. Obviously, if no trailer, we're going to see Chopper, which is the last actor, which is the last casting that yet to be announced.
Which I'm so excited and so curious for, because you're on the mindset of them most likely getting the American voice actor.
Yeah.
Who in that case would be, I believe, Brina Palencia, who's a very prolific anime voice actor, which would just make sense if he's going to be fully animated. I can't wait.
It's going to be so exciting. Probably Smoker, if I had to wager a guess.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Smoker. But this is a good question.
That's a hard question.
That's a hard question. I can't do favorite, but I could probably list you. I could probably throw you 5.
I mean, you could say movies that you know you love. I'm a huge Pixar fan. I love Up and I love the Toy Story series. I'm a big fan of the movie Up in the Air with George Clooney. Oh my God, what else? There's too many. I do love the MCU too. We both love Avengers Endgame.
Yes, that is on my top 10 list. Avengers Endgame. So that's one. Another one, Spirited Away. Spirited Away is a fantastic film. I think everyone should watch it. It is a masterpiece. It is fantastically animated, and it's Miyazaki. I think it's Miyazaki's best film.
Oh, I think hands down, like not even a contest.
Rocky. I consider Rocky a perfect movie. I consider The Godfather a perfect movie. The fact that both of those have Italian characters at the center of them is not a coincidence, but it might be.
Yeah.
WALL-E is also a good movie. Not in my top 10, but it's there. Live action would probably, I'll give you a little variety. So superhero, Endgame, animated, Spirited Away, 2 live action, Godfather and Rocky. I consider those perfect films. I consider them, and that's a really high bar to hit.
Yeah.
Like perfection. But those are 2 films I consider perfection. And then one that a curveball I always like to throw at people, because not a lot of people have seen it, and I think they should, especially if you grew up in the 90s, and especially if you are fans of Digimon. I tell everyone Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna, which is on my top 10 list. As someone like me who grew up with Digimon and grew up a fan of those characters in that show and got to grow up and had the privilege of growing up with Tai and Agumon and that adventure cast, with Tai being a very important character to me. It's a character I see a lot of myself in, especially when I was younger. To see him grow up and kind of try and fight to find his place in the world was really interesting. And where each Digimon adventure story is us at a different point in our lives. Whereas Digimon Adventure is us as kids, Tri is us as that awkward teenage phase, and Last Evolution is us at the precipice of adulthood, where we have to experience things for the first time, like being out in the world and figuring out who we want to be, and loss. And it's very much a movie about loss and about grief and dealing with loss and preparing to lose people and be in the world, be a functioning member of society. And that, to me, makes it a really fantastic film, especially it's the 90s kids, Toy Story 3.
Oh my God. I love when you get so passionate about that movie.
Yeah.
Because I only watched it because of you. And I do love Digimon, but at that point it wasn't on my radar as much. But I love that. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. You told me to hear you out. I would love to hear you out, because I think, not only do I think Watchmen is okay at best, I think the movie significantly ruins the impact of the graphic novel. Because he changes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what you've told me is a great graphic novel.
I like Watchmen. I don't love it the way that people do. It's very good. It's fantastic. We're back to satire. It's a fantastic satire of comic book superheroes, especially of that age. The movie is almost a direct translation of the graphic novel, almost shot for shot, but it loses the meaning behind the shots a lot of the time. And the one bit of originality Snyder adds to it is he changes the ending. And the ending he chooses, I think, is significantly worse because it doesn't hold up as well as the graphic novel. Because I watched all movies. Because the graphic novel ends with Ozymandias creating an alien in his lab that he sends to destroy Manhattan, and he succeeds. It's one of the most iconic moments in comic book history, where they're all like, "We're gonna stop you. You're a madman." He goes, "Stop me! I did it 30 minutes ago," and he succeeded 30 minutes ago, and they're just there dealing with the fallout of it. They were rendered useless, and it's a satire on how villains are always monologuing, and he monologues, and they go, we're gonna stop you, and he goes, "Stop me! I did it 30 minutes ago. Like, it's done. Like, I'm just here gloating." So the reason why he makes an alien is because he unites the entire world against one force. And how do you do that? You create a force that has no affiliation to any other country in the world, a force that is beyond our limitations as a society. But what Zack Snyder does is he makes Ozzy send just a blue blast to New York and blames the incident on Dr. Manhattan. Why that doesn't hold up is because Dr. Manhattan has been affiliated with the United States of America the entire time, since his inception as a superhero. So while the movie tells us that the whole world rallies in this tragedy because Dr. Manhattan turned on the world, we know that in real life, every other country would blame the United States and would immediately not send aid and be like, "Well, that's your own fault. Like, you guys did that to yourselves because you were hoarding the most powerful being on the planet. And because of that, like, you got greedy and he turned on you." So the whole point of the ending falls apart if you put any bit of thought behind it. And that's why the graphic novel will always be better. And that's why the sequel, the Watchmen show on HBO, is the best Watchmen property outside of the comic book that we've gotten, because it enhances the story instead of trying to best it or change it. And I think it's equally as important. There are so many people who had no idea about the Tulsa Massacre before Watchmen. That's impact. That's creating commentary around real life tragedies. And I think that was executed so well by Lindelof and co. And it has some amazing performances. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, fantastic. Regina, fantastic. So if you're gonna like any live action Watchmen like that, I would say.
Damn.
Yeah.
I did not expect that out of you. Like, I knew you had strong opinions about Watchmen, but I think that might be the most I've heard you talk about it in a consecutive amount of time.
Dude, I'm just, you brought it up and I'm just giving you my opinion on it. I'm not hating on it. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it lives up to the greatness of its name. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's amazing.
That's funny. That's a good joke. That's a solid joke. Congratulations. That's a well executed joke. Because eggs be expensive.
They be expensive.
Eggs be buku bucks. They be very expensive.
That's interesting. So like I've never watched the TV show. But that's interesting about the Tulsa what you mentioned about the Tulsa Massacre, and just the impact of how film and just media can be informative and like just give people insight into things. Do you always think about today that's like a really stupid tangent from that? Because talking about things that movies and TV can like just educate us about. I was thinking today about movies I like that are like not new or not that modern, and I really struggled to think of them until I thought of Kramer versus Kramer. Which have you seen it?
No, I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Excellent movie. It's obviously very, very sad. But literally, there's a scene in it where Dustin Hoffman has to make his 6-year-old French toast, and that's how I learned how French toast is made.
That's wild.
It is, but like I'm not even kidding you. But yes, so I just thought that was interesting. But that's just how informative media could be, intentionally or unintentionally.
It's super informative. I mean, good media informs a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good night, Jace. Thank you for joining us. Always good to see you, dude. Damn, we've been on for over 2 hours right now.
Yeah, I didn't even realize.
Yeah. I mean, we were waiting. I guess we could announce we covered all the topics realistically.
We actually did, I think.
We could. You guys want to hear what movie we're doing? I was waiting because I thought the people, because we're going to be featuring some guests on the next movie. I thought that one or maybe both of them would join, but I don't know. They're probably busy. I'll be busy doing dumb things.
I mean, that's not nice. You don't know what they're doing.
But I don't know. Do you want to tease it, or should we just say it?
I mean, we might as well say, I mean, we could tease it. I mean, you could say that this movie is fantastic.
I could just hit you with one of those.
Ooh.
One of those.
One of those.
Yeah. It's Fantastic Four. It's Fantastic Four. And we're going to have some guests on it. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun because I watched the Tim Story duology several years ago on Netflix. I'd never seen it before. I knew what the reputation was for those movies. I actually had some fun with the first one.
They're guilty pleasure movies, 100%. I
Yeah.
think those are two movies where casting was fantastic. So I think that's really, really fun.
Fantastic.
It was very fantastic. All four was fantastic. Well, maybe not all four, but definitely most of the four were fantastic. 2005.
Yeah, it was 05.
It's no, because they asked if we're doing Fan 4 stick.
Oh God.
We might one day.
Maybe one day, but the plan this.
I've never seen it in completion.
Me neither.
I've
don't
never
really
seen the whole movie.
I don't know if I necessarily want to, but maybe one day.
One day, but I would like to see that. I would like to do a reaction video to that. That feels like a video worth reacting to.
I know, but I am excited to rewatch it again. See what not that I watched it that long ago, but I'm excited to watch it again.
I'm really excited. You're not wrong, K20. Fantastic Four 1994 might be the best Fantastic Four movie based off of the characters. It might be the movie that gets the characters the most. Doom especially. It gets Doom somehow out of 4 Fantastic Four movies. That's the only one that gets Doom right.
So wait, you've actually seen it?
Of course, I've seen. I haven't seen it in completion because I couldn't find it anywhere, and I didn't want to like buy the pirated.
Yeah, which is fair.
So I've seen clips and I've seen documentaries on it, but no, we're streaming on YouTube as well, and we're streaming on Twitter. We have like between the 3 places, we have like 400 people watching right now, which is crazy.
No, and thank you guys. Honestly, I'm still surprised. I'm surprised you guys are this entertained by us.
Yeah, they're so entertained. They're here for One Piece. I guess. Dude, we answered your question. You keep asking us what our favorite movies are. We gave you a list.
Yeah, we talked about the ones that we love the most.
We gave you 5 each. Take a shot every time Kate Mara's wig changes.
Oh
Dude,
my!
We wouldn't survive. We'd have to go into the negative zone. That's crazy. Her wig changed a lot.
It did. And it got worse as the movie went on, but the movie also got worse as it went on.
The movie gets worse.
Yeah.
They don't give Ben pants. Kate, so basically just quickly to summarize like the announcement, I don't know if you were here earlier, but we're launching memberships on the channel. Power Rangers is going to be early access. The lowest possible tier, $1 tier. People who sign up are going to be getting the episodes 2 weeks early.
Yes.
If you don't sign up or can't sign up, they're not going to be behind a paywall. You will be getting them for free on the channel. It will just be 2 weeks after. So essentially look at it this way. If you're not going to join the $1 tier, it's a 2-week break starting Monday. And then they'll be up same as they always are. No change in format or multi-parters or anything. It'll just be business as usual.
Yeah, and the tier isn't up live yet to join. We're going to make an announcement in our community tabs. And guys, just in general, if there's ever something you're wondering, check our community tab just in case we might have made an update about stuff. We'll often make some proactive announcements there, especially related to the channel. So that's always a good place to go to if you're just wondering about any updates we have. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you had a chance to watch it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. If you want to scroll back through the stream to hear us talk about it.
We talked about it. It was a Power Ranger heavy stream.
Yes. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna start wrapping it up. We've been live for over 2 hours now.
Yes.
If anyone has any final thoughts or questions, let us know. But beyond that, it was a pretty fun and productive stream.
This, what I think was really fun. By the way, I didn't get to say this. B Smokey, I might have seen you at MegaCon. Were you dressed as the White Ranger on? It was Thursday or Fridays when I was there. But let me know, because I definitely took a picture of a White Ranger. I wasn't in my cosplay, but I definitely saw one. Yes.
Yes, it was him.
Oh, that's awesome.
He just confirmed.
Okay, no, that's amazing. Okay.
It was on Saturday.
So wait, was I in my? I don't think it had to be Saturday, because I think I was only there Thursday and Friday, because
you weren't there Saturday.
Because I was Boone Orange on the Friday.
Yeah, so maybe Friday.
It had to have been Friday. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
nice.
You were Boone Orange.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Unfortunately.
I wasn't there. It's so weird. It's so weird, like having people come up at conventions and being like, "Hey, I watch your videos. I really love your videos," because that's like so humbling and really cool. And it's just, I can't reiterate how appreciative I am and how amazing it is that stuff like that even happens.
No, it's been awesome, and people are like usually super kind. And honestly, I'm just grateful that there's people out here who like actually enjoy the stuff that we do enough that they even want to approach us. I was about to mention that to her, but she would. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Awesome. Thank you, Smokey. Shame on you.
I'm sorry.
Shame on you for being busy for the fans.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to remember.
No, Nikki gets swarmed when she's in cosplay. So many people are excited to see her and want to take pictures. So it can be very, as someone who has to hold her stuff or take pictures.
I was gonna say, at MegaCon, I had a very kind and patient friend who helped me with my helmet, because that can be a little bit tough. But yeah, and like, I love MegaCon, but man, that floor was so hectic. I'm honestly, to this day, I honestly am thinking about maybe making some videos about my cosplay. I'm just talking maybe more about it, maybe doing some more if you guys would be interested in that. Just because like, I'm honestly surprised with how packed show floors get at cons that like something hasn't gotten smashed up yet. But no, I'm excited to do more.
Yeah.
But thank you though.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's so funny because like as we were live, like the Netflix One Piece account, like direct message, like the group, and was like, the pirates are coming. So big announcement. Expect a big announcement for One Piece this weekend.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I'm so excited. If there's a trailer, we're reacting to it.
Yes.
So if you want to see a One Piece trailer reaction, come back on Saturday night, because we'll be reacting to it. Maybe our guests will do it, because I think we're also going to be recording Fantastic Four on Saturday.
I think we have to make them watch season 1 first, though.
We're going to make them watch it. We're going to make them watch all of it, and then Fantastic Four, and then the trailer.
That sounds like a very long day.
That's what you have to do for content. But I'm just joking. But guys, this has been real. It was a very fun time. We had a blast with you guys. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. This was fun.
Thank you for joining us, guys. Like, we're so grateful that you took the time to just spend time with us, chat, talk about dumb stuff, but also really cool stuff.
Yeah. So until next time, I guess, like stay versed and stuff.